Good morning, students. Welcome you all once again in the live virtual classes organized by Board of Studies of ICAI. Students, today we are going to start and we are going to discuss a very important standard, and the name is Ind AS 16 Property, Plant and Equipment. Friends, this standard is a fundamental standard. This standard helps you in understanding the other 3 to 4 standards, and when you read the other 3-4 standards, if you understand Ind AS 16 very well, you will be able to revise the standards when you read the other standards, right? For example, if you understand Ind AS 16 property, plant and equipment very well, it will help you in Ind AS 38 intangible assets. It will help you in Ind AS 40 investment property. It will help you in some concept of Ind AS 116, right? Because 116 also says that for there is a concept called right of use asset. So 116 also talked about the subsequent recognition depreciation part from Ind AS 16. So Ind AS 38, Ind AS 16, Ind AS 38, Ind AS 40, Ind AS 116, right? Ind AS 23 also. So Ind AS 105, non-current asset held for sale in discontinued operations. So if you understand Ind AS 16 very well, it will help you in 4 to 5 standard. Okay, right? Sir, if we don't understand Ind AS 16, then will we not be able to understand the other standard? No, that's not the case. But if you understand Ind AS 16 very well, then ek panth do kaj. Then, when you are reading Ind AS 38, when you are learning Ind AS 38, simultaneously you are revising Ind AS 16 few concept as well. Okay. So at the same time, when you are learning a new standard, you are able to revise one standard. Okay. So that's the kind of optimization learning. That's kind of a optimized learning. Okay. So when you are learning for the first time, you are revising also. Okay. Ind AS 16, property, plant and equipment is not a new standard. In terms of Ind AS, it could be a new standard because you are learning Ind AS 16 for the first time. I'm teaching you for the first time. But property, plant and equipment, have you covered this standard in accounting standard? Have you covered this standard in accounting standard? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, of course, Ravinder. You have covered this accounting, you have covered this concept of property, plant and equipment in accounting standard 10, right? So the name is also property, plant and equipment. Okay. Up to 31st March 2016, Saminathan, the name was accounting for fixed asset. But effective from 1st April 2016, the name of accounting standard 10 was changed to property, plant and equipment. The title was changed to property, plant and equipment. Okay. So we have already covered in accounting standard 10, and there is no major difference between accounting standard 10 and Ind AS 16. Okay. Sir, what is the global standard in IFRS? In IFRS, it is IAS 16. In IFRS, it is IAS 16. So, my dear friends, this is the position of the standard. This is the position of the standard. In accounting standard, we have AS 10, and the name is property, plant and equipment. In Ind AS, it is Ind AS 16. The name is property, plant and equipment. In IFRS, it is IAS 16. International Accounting Standard 16, and the name is property, plant and equipment. These are the standards, prevailing standards as on date in the various gaps. Okay, right? Clear? Now let's move to Ind AS 16 property, plant and equipment. My dear friends, in every asset related standard, or let's say liability related standard, the standard covers four important pillars. The standard covers four important pillars of accounting. Tell me, what are the four important pillars of accounting standard? Saminathan has given me the answer. I am waiting for the answers from all of you. If you are my students, you will be able to give this answer. Ravinder, Rohan, everyone has given the right answer. Anyone else? My dear students who are listening me live, right? For example, Charita Reddy, Yogendra Reddy. if you are listening me live, Kanhaiya Singh, then my request to all of you, please write on the chat box also. Okay. The more you engage, the more you participate, the more you learn. Okay. So yes, you are absolutely right. RMPD, recognition, measurement, presentation, disclosure. So this Ind AS 16 also talks about recognition of property, plant and equipment, measurement of property, plant and equipment, presentation of property, plant and equipment, and disclosure relating to the property, plant and equipment in the notes to accounts. Okay, right? So in terms of recognition, this standard covers initial cost as well as subsequent cost. For example, you have purchased a car. Okay, so this car you are paying 10 lakh rupee. So how you will recognize this car, whether as an expense or as a fixed asset or as a property, plant and equipment. Fixed asset and property, plant and equipment is one and the same thing. Okay, so as an expense or as a PPE, you will recognize this car as a PPE. Okay, so initial cost means the amount which you are spending today in buying the asset. Now you purchased a car. Now after 5 years, you will replace the engine of the car because the car met with an accident. The car met with an accident and now you are replacing the engine of the car. Okay, so that is a subsequent cost. Now how to recognize that subsequent cost, whether that subsequent cost has to be capitalized or subsequent cost has to be expensed off. In this example, what's your view? If you guys have read AS10 very well, then you will give the right answer. What's your view? If a company is replacing the engine of the car, whether that engine will be capitalized or engine will be charged to the P&L. Rohan has said capitalized. Samanathan is also saying, sir, capitalize. Aliti Yogendra is also saying capitalize. Ravinder is also saying capitalize. You all are absolutely right, and I am very happy to see the answer. Right? I am very happy. It means you guys, Kanhaiya Singh has also said, sir, capitalized. I am very happy that at least you guys understand, you guys know the concept, you guys know the concept of subsequent cost capitalization also, right? And we will discuss in detail this concept. Then measurement and recognition. Now the question comes, first time when you are buying a car, then at what value you will recognize the car? What's your measurement at initial recognition? What is your element of cost, right? And standard says that this car has to be measured at cost. Okay. Then subsequent recognition, subsequent measurement, measurement after recognition on the reporting date. On the reporting date, the standard also talks about the cost model, revaluation model, depreciation, and I'm sure the cost model, friends, just give me a minute. Okay. So friends, I'm sure the cost model and revaluation model, each and every one of you have gone through in your life. Yes or no? Yes or no? Of course, yes. What about others? Have you guys ever covered cost model or revaluation model? Of course, sir, in accounting standard 10, we have covered cost model and revaluation model. Yes, you guys have covered a cost model, revaluation model, right? Then there is a concept of depreciation. There is a concept of depreciation, okay? Right? And you all know depreciation since class 11. Do you know the three methods of depreciation? Do you know the three method of depreciation? Friends, the more you will familiar with the standard, the more your learning curve will rise. Three method. Ravinder, Yogendra has given me two method. Rohan has given me three method. Saminathan is also giving me two method. Three methods are there. Straight line method, WDV method, and Charita Reddy has also given the right answer. And unit of production method, which is also called as unit of digits method. Okay. Right. So number one, straight line method. सबको याद है straight line method. Everyone knows straight line method. Sir, this method we are learning from class 11. WDV method, sir, we also know. Written down value method. What is the third method? Third method is unit of production method or unit of digit method. You are absolutely right, Sai Kiran. the units utilizing. Okay. Then depreciable amount and depreciation period. Have you heard about the word depreciable amount? Cost minus residual value, cost which is, let's say the cost of the car is 10 lakh rupee. And what is your residual value? Expected residual value is 50,000 rupees. What is the depreciable amount? And life is 10 years. What is the depreciable amount? The depreciable amount is 9.5 lakh and every year depreciation is 95,000. So that at the end of the 10th year, what will be the remaining WDV left with this car? 50,000 rupees. And of course, you will sell and recover 50,000 rupees. Do you remember or you don't remember? Depreciable amount, depreciation period. Depreciation period is useful life, right? Estimated life, estimated economic life in which the asset can be used, right? So depreciable amount, depreciation period, depreciation method, impairment. Have you heard about word impairment? Accounting standard 28. Impairment. Yeah. Okay. And then there is a concept called compensation for impairment. What happens if there is a compensation for impairment? And the last piece is derecognition. When you will derecognize your property, plant and equipment. Okay. And of course, disclosures, right? So friends, we will cover these aspects. We will cover these aspects in Ind AS 16 property, plant and equipment. So while looking at this agenda, which I have jotted down from your ICAI Board of Studies material, right? In the last 10 minutes, what's your comfort level on Ind AS 16? What's your comfort level in terms of familiarity with Ind AS 16 on a scale of 1 to 10? Everybody, please give me a comfort level on a scale of 1 to 10. What's your comfort level? And don't worry, even if your comfort level is very less, I can tell you after 2 classes when I'll complete Ind AS 16, your comfort level will be 100%. Okay. Right. So friends, I am asking, so Saminathan is saying 10 out of 10, Ravinder is saying 10 out of 10, Kanaya Singh is also giving 8, Yogendra is also saying 10. What about others? Charita Reddy is also saying 10. Great, absolutely great. And those who are not at 10, they will be at 10, not to worry, in just 2 classes. Okay. So good part, at least we understand Ind AS 16, not as a Ind AS 16, but as a accounting standard 10, or in the past we learn about this property, plant and equipment, and at least we know few concepts. Okay. Great, absolutely great, Rohan. Objective. The objective, like every standard starts with an objective. क्यों आया ये standard? The objective is to prescribe the accounting treatment for property, plant and equipment. The objective is to recognize the asset, how to recognize the asset, how to determine the carrying amount. What is meant by carrying amount? What is meant by carrying amount? The amount at which the PPE is carried in the balance sheet. And what is the formula of the carrying amount? I am expecting a formula. So Sai Kiran is saying cost less accumulated depreciation. Cost less accumulated depreciation. Sai Kiran, you are partially right. But why you are not fully right? Cost less accumulated depreciation, less accumulated impairment losses. This is the complete formula. Yes, Saminathan, you are absolutely right. Cost less accumulated depreciation, less accumulated impairment losses. Okay. So this standard gives you a formula of determination of carrying amount. This standard talks about depreciation. This standard also touches the boundaries of impairment losses. Okay. This is the objective theoretical part, not to learn, right? Nothing, just to understand, Okay. Okay, Sai Kiran, you are also right. Sai Kiran is saying cost less, accumulated depreciation less, accumulated impairment losses. Okay. Now, coming to the scope part. This Ind AS 16 is applicable to all kinds of property, plant and equipment. All kinds of property, plant and equipment, except there is a negative list which is given. There is a negative list which is given. And what is the negative list? If a property, plant and equipment is classified as held for sale. So there is another standard 105 which takes care of PP classified as held for sale. That is why Ind AS 16 will not be applicable in this situation. Biological asset related to agricultural activity, गाय भैंस, right? So what is a biological asset? Living animal or plant. Living animal or plant. So biological assets related to agricultural activity, Ind AS 41 is applicable, right? Ind AS 16 is not applicable to biological asset. In our accounting standard, my dear friends, there was no any standard which deals with biological asset. And that is why if there is a livestock, it was generally, this livestock was generally, covered under accounting standard 10. So normally the entities were applying AS 10 for the purpose of livestock accounting. But in Ind AS, we have Ind AS 41, which deals with agriculture, which deals with biological asset. And hence, this livestock, this biological asset is not covered under Ind AS 16, okay, which is relating to agricultural activity, living animal. So recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation assets, okay, recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation assets, my dear friends. So this is also covered under Ind AS 106. If there is a recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation asset, this is not covered under Ind AS 16. Mineral rights and mineral reserves such as oil, natural gas, and similar non-regenerative resources are also not covered under Ind AS 16. It is also covered under Ind AS 106. But if there is a mining, okay, so like if there is a mining activity, okay, if there is a mining activity, then what happened? If there is a mining activity, so you are using cranes, you are using trucks, you are using cranes, you are using trucks, okay? So those cranes, trucks, right? So this standard will be applicable to those property, plant and equipment which are used to develop or maintain the above assets, okay? To develop or maintain the above assets, okay? Right? Sai Kiran is asking, sir, for livestock, no depreciation. You are absolutely right. If for livestock, because you cannot say, na, this cow will die in 10 years. Okay. So generally on livestock, there is no depreciation. But what happens? So for livestock, it is subject to the impairment losses. It is subject to the impairment losses. Okay. So when it is derecognized, we'll take carrying value less recoverable value as depreciation. No, no, no. So it will continue at a carrying value only when it is derecognized. So carrying value will be, for example, you have sold that livestock, right? And 100 rupee is the carrying value. You sold at, let's say, 70 rupee. What you will do? You will credit your livestock biological asset at 100 rupee. You debit bank at 70 rupee and loss on derecognition debit by 30 rupee. Okay. Yes. Now, friends, definition of property, plant and equipment. This is kind of a standard. This livestock is kind of a, sir, biological asset other than bearer plant. Yes, we will discuss it. We will discuss it. I have parked it, right? And even, so Yogendra, biological asset, only with those biological asset will be excluded which are related to agricultural activity. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you seen circus? Have you seen circus? आपने कभी सर्कस देखा है? Yes, circus देखा है. Okay. Have you seen any animal in circus? The monkey is riding bicycle. The lion is jumping between the rings of the fire, right? The elephant is playing football. The goat is sitting in rickshaw. Have you seen that circus? I have seen in my childhood days, right? I have seen that circus in my childhood days. So the lion is jumping between the rings of the fire. Now the question is whether these are biological assets. Whether these are biological asset. Of course, yes, living animal. Living animal is a biological asset. Yes, this is a biological asset. Sir, if this is a biological asset, whether it will be covered under Ind AS 16 or it will not be covered under Ind AS 16, please tell me. So whether this lion, monkey, elephant, goat, tiger, whether these are related to agricultural activity. Playing a circus is an agricultural activity? Yes. Of course, no. Of course, no. So Sai Kiran, for example, in this example, these animals who are playing, who are entertaining audience, who are performing in circus, these animals are not related to agricultural activity. So in which standard these will be covered, in Ind AS 41 or Ind AS 16? Tell me, in which standard it will get covered? Ind AS 16 or Ind AS 41? You are absolutely right, Ravinder. You are absolutely right, Saminathan. Right? Yogendra, you are absolutely right. So this will be covered under Ind AS 16. Right? Only those biological assets will be excluded which is related to agricultural activity in terms of living animal. And of course, we will discuss a concept of bearer plant as well when we discuss this standard. Okay? Let's move on. What is meant by property, plant and equipment? The most important definition, my dear friends. PPE. What is PPE? Can you give me an example of PPE? Lot of example of PPE. Even in your surroundings, you can see lot of example of PPE. I am teaching you guys with the help of a laptop. What is laptop? What is laptop? PPE. I am sitting on a chair. My laptop is on my table. What is this chair and table? Furniture and fixture. PPE. I am taking my class from my house, which is a building. What is a building? PPE. What is a building? PPE. Okay. And in parking, my car is there. What is my car? PPE. My car is PPE. Okay. So my wife has given me a cold water, right? So this cold water has come from fridge. What is refrigerator? Refrigerator is again an equipment, electronic equipment, office equipment. It is again a PPE. It is again a PPE. Then I'll go to office. My office is an office building. That office building is a PPE, right? I'm working with a company which is flying aircraft. What is aircraft? PPE. Okay. So lot of examples are there for property, plant and equipment. And what is a common in whatever example I have given you? What is the common feature? What is the common feature in all these examples? इन सारे एग्जाम्पल का कॉमन फीचर क्या है सर? All these items are tangible items. All these items are tangible item. ये सारे एसेट आप देख सकते हो, टच कर सकते हो, right? All these items are tangible items. No any asset is bhutiya asset. No any asset is invisible, intangible. All these items are tangible items. Yes. So what is the first definition? What is the first condition of PPE? PPE are tangible item. Tangible item which are held for use in production or supply of goods and services or for rental purposes or for administrative purposes. Sir, these items, if these are held for use in production, machine, what is the nature of machine? Machine is a PPE or intangible asset or some other assets. Machine is a property, plant and equipment. What is the use of the machine? What is the use of machinery? The use of the machinery is the machine is used for production of goods. The machine is used for production of goods. The entity has purchased a truck. What is the purpose of the truck? What is the use of the truck? The truck is a tangible item which is used. The truck, Sai Kiran, just hold on. I'll complete and I'll discuss that. Sai Kiran, otherwise you will not be able to understand, right, what I am teaching. Because I am teaching in a flow. I will cover that aspect, Sai Kiran. Allow me to cover in a sequential manner. Okay? Okay? Right? Because otherwise, you know what happens, my dear students? It's not about a particular student. It's about everyone. For example, when we are asking a question and at times the right time of the question comes later on. Okay? So if faculty will not answer that question and faculty is waiting for the right time, because when the right time will come, probably you will be able to understand automatically or faculty will explain automatically, right? So it will of course it will impact you because you are thinking faculty is not answering my question, back of the mind this is going on and you are able to lose the track and you are not able to listen or understand what faculty is explaining. This is a very normal scenario, and that is why I'm requesting each and every student, my dear student, right? So if your question is not answered right now, it will definitely answered. It will definitely be answered. Allow that right time, okay? And forget about it and try to listen, try to understand the other concepts, okay? Yes, which is held for use in production or supply of goods and services. So truck, what is the purpose? The purpose is transportation of goods, supply of goods, right? So truck is a PPE. Rental purposes or administrative purposes. Refrigerator, furniture and fixture, chair, table. So laptop, these are used for administrative purposes. Okay. Office building, administrative purposes. Administrative purposes means to run the business. Rental purposes. What is meant by rental purposes? Friends, the building, a company has purchased a building and the company has let out the building on a rental basis. The company has let out the building on rent, right? The company is earning rental from this building. Now tell me, what is building? It's a tangible item. It is held for rental purposes. Whether it will be classified as a PPE, whether it will be classified as a PPE. Yogendra is saying yes, sir. Saminathan is saying Ind AS 40 will apply. Ravinder is saying should be, sir. Okay, very good. While whatever I have taught you, I told the PPE has to be tangible item, and this tangible item has to be used. This tangible item has to be used for the purpose of production or supply or rental or for administrative purposes. And I have taken an example of a building which is held for rental purposes. So will it be PP? Answer is no. Friends, there is an exception which is given, right? So the exception for the rental, is land and building. If land and building has been held for the purpose of rental, it will be covered for the purpose of rental. It will be covered under Ind AS 40. This is the exception. If land and building which is held for rental purposes, a land and building which is held for rental purposes, it will be covered under Ind AS 40 investment property, not Ind AS 16. Okay. So this is an exception. Sir, then why this rental is given? Why this rental word is given? My dear friends, have you ever seen a real estate site? Have you ever seen a construction site? कभी आपने construction site देखी है? Have you seen some machinery, some equipment on the construction site like that crane, trucks, rollers, mixers? Have you seen those big elevators, big lifts, elevators? Have you seen those equipment? Even though if you have not seen, Yogendra, you can imagine, right? This real estate, these construction sites have a lot of equipments. Generally, if there are the small construction sites, they are taking these equipments on a rental basis. They are taking. If they are taking a crane on a rental basis, somebody is giving them a crane on a rental basis, yes or no? It means somebody, some company, some entity has purchased a crane and they are giving the crane on a rental basis. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So tell me, in those companies, in the books of those companies, what is the nature of crane? Is it PP or is it investment property? Of course, you are absolutely right. It is PP. Why it is PP? It is a tangible item which is held for giving on a rental basis. The exception is only about land and building. The exception is not on the items other than land and building. I hope it is clear to each and every one of you. Sai Kiran, let me know if you have any question further. Please let me know. The third aspect, of course, is it is expected to be used during more than one period. means more than 1 year generally. Okay. So what is a PP? PP is a tangible item which is held for use in production or supply of goods and services or for rental purposes or for administrative purposes and is expected to be used during more than 1 year. Sai Kiran, let me know if you have any question now. Otherwise, I'll move to the next topic. Any question? Okay, great. Yes. So let's move now. Let's discuss this case study number 1. XYZ Limited acquired a land to construct a plant for manufacturing of goods. Also acquired below items for the business. Machine A for production, building for rental purpose, truck for transportation of goods, furniture and fixture for office administration, laptop for the employees for office working, SAP software for maintaining records and books of accounts. Identify whether above items are PP&E or not. Tell me, with this land they have acquired for constructing a plant, factory, whether this land is PPE or not. Land is a tangible item held for use in production, supply, rental, administrative services, right? And more than 1 year is life. Land is a PPE, okay? Plant, what about factory? Whether factory is a PP, plant is a PP? Yes, plant is also a PP&E. Plant is also a PP&E, right? Okay. What about machine A? What about machine A? Whether machine A is a PP&E? Machine A is a tangible item held for use in production. Life is of course more than 1 year. Yes, it is a PP&E. What about building for rental purposes? Building is a tangible item held for rental. Life is more than 1 year. Yes, PP&E or not? Building is a investment property. Building is covered under Ind AS 40. Okay, investment property if it is held for rental purposes. But a company is running a business in the building, then the building is not for rental purpose. The building is not for rental purpose, it is for running the office. Then it is PP&E. Okay. Truck for transportation of goods, tangible item held for supply, transportation, life is more than 1 year. Yes, PP&E. Furniture and fixture for office administration, again tangible item. Yes, PP&E. Okay, administrative purpose, life is more than 1 year. Laptop, again a PP&E. SAP software, tangible item or intangible item? Tangible item or intangible item? Intangible item, not a PP&E. So Yogendra, in that case, it will also if you are giving on a rent to your employees also, right? So if it is on a concessional rent, then it could be PP&E. But if it is normal rent, then it has to be an investment property. Okay. Yes. So friend, this is the answer. Building is an investment property, truck PP&E, furniture fixture PP&E, laptop PP&E, SAP software, Ind AS 38 intangible assets. Ind AS 38 intangible assets. Okay, right. So friends, we have covered the definition of PPE. What is the definition of PPE? Tangible item held for use in production. Tangible item held for use in production of goods or supply of goods and services, rental purpose or administrative purposes, and used for more than one period, which is typically more than 1 year. And I've also given the exception. Land and building held for rental purposes will not be considered as a PP&E and it will be accounted for as per Ind AS 40 investment property, right? So I have also given you the notes. Let me write exception. Okay. Good. Fine. कोई गिला शिकवा तो नहीं है? Yes. Okay. So this is also covered in your notes. Now let's move on. Recognition criteria. We understood the definition of property, plant and equipment. Now, my dear friends, we need to discuss the recognition criteria. When an item will be recognized as a property, plant and equipment, right? So there are two conditions for the recognition criteria. Condition number one is future economic benefit should be probable. Future economic benefit should be probable. Condition number two, cost can be measured reliably. F stands for future economic benefit should be probable, and C stands for cost can be measured reliably. Then it has to be recognized. It has to be recognized as a PPNE. Okay. Future economic benefit should be probable. Cost can be measured reliably. Cost can be measured reliably. Okay. Cost can be measured reliably. Future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. My dear friends, generally cost is always measured reliably because whenever you purchase the asset, you got an invoice, you got a value, you pay the consideration. Okay. So that is first. Second is future economic benefit should be probable. What could be the example when an item will be not recognized as a PPE? For example, the government has provided an asset to the company as a free of cost, and this asset does not have a market value. Means the asset is not tradable in the market. The asset is not tradable in the market. There is no standalone selling price of the asset. There is no fair value of the asset. There is no market value of the asset, and government has given the asset free of cost, right, as a gift. And of course, the government has given the asset, future economic benefit is probable. Future economic benefit is there, right? But cost cannot be measured reliably. Cost cannot be measured reliably. So in this case, whether it will be recognized as a PPE? Answer is no. Why? Because both of the conditions are not meeting, right? This is not only either or condition. This is both the condition. Future economic benefit should be probable, cost can be measured reliably. This is and. This is and. This is not or. This is and, right? Future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. If these two conditions will be satisfied, it will be recognized as a property, plant and equipment. It will be recognized as a property, plant and equipment. Okay, clear? So now future economic benefit should be probable. Let me ask you a question. The company has ordered and purchased a machinery from China. The company has ordered and purchased a machinery from China. Okay. For rupees 1 crore. When I'm saying for rupees 1 crore, what does it mean? When I'm saying for rupees 1 crore, it means the cost can be measured reliably. मतलब cost तो पता है. Cost is known. Cost is known, right? For rupees 1 crore. Cost is known. Now the question is, sir, if cost is known, right? If cost is known, then whether future economic benefit is probable for this machinery. Of course, when you get the machinery, you will do the production. Of course, the future economic benefit is also probable. Means future economic benefit is probable means the entity expect there are high chances that the entity will get the future economic benefit. Means the company will be benefited economically by using that asset. Yes, if a company has purchased a machinery, the company will produce the goods from the machinery and company will get the future economic benefit. So this machine will be capitalized as a property, plant and equipment. Now let me give you more insight into this example. So the company has ordered and purchased a machinery from China for rupees 1 crore. When the machinery arrived India, when the machinery arrived in the factory of this company in India, the government of India banned the production from this machinery which is manufactured in China. The government of India banned the production of this machinery, right, which is produced in China. Tell me whether this company will capitalize this machine as a PPE or not. What is the accounting treatment of this 1 crore which has been spent on the machinery? Student, answer me. बताइए क्या होगा? Sir, cost can be measured reliably. Yes, we know the cost. Sir, whether future economic benefit is probable? Answer is no. गवर्नमेंट ने तो बैन कर दिया ना आउटपुट. The government has banned the output from this machinery. How will you arrive at a future economic benefit? How will you arrive at a future economic benefit? Now this machine can go as a scrap value only because nobody will purchase the machinery for the purpose of production. Right? For you, this machine can be sold. This machine can be sold as a either a scrap or a second-hand product. Okay? Right? So it is subject to museum. Okay, so this machine will not be capitalized as a property, plant and equipment, right? Because future economic benefit is not probable. Okay, the company will not be able to use the machine for the purpose of business, right? So the company is not expecting the benefit which is economically viable, right? Economically viable. Okay, great. So we understand the meaning of future economic benefit also. We understood the meaning of future economic benefit also, right? Okay. So have you understood the meaning of future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably? If these two conditions will be satisfied, then it has to be recognized as a property, plant and equipment. Okay. Now there are spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment, right? So my dear friends, there are spare parts for every machine. There are some spare parts, there are some standby equipment, there are some servicing equipment. Okay. So whether those spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment, whether these spare parts, standby equipment, servicing equipment, these has to be recognized as a PPE or it has to be recognized as an inventory. Standard says that if recognition criteria met and the definition of PPE also met, then it has to be recognized as a PPE. Otherwise, it has to be expensed off. Otherwise, it has to be recognized as an inventory. Okay. For example, there is a spare part. The life of the spare part is only 2 months. In every 2 months, this spare part is going to be installed in the machine and the old spare part has to be deinstalled. Spare part cost can be measured reliably, yes. Future economic benefit is probable, yes. If that spare part will not be installed in the machine will not be able to run for the production. तो वो तो है, but whether it is meeting the definition, whether it is meeting the definition of PP, whether it is meeting the definition of PP, tangible item, yes. Held for use in production, yes. Whether life is more than 1 year, no. So it has to be recognized as an inventory. Okay. So spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment, spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment, right? So if these are meeting the definition and recognition criteria of PPE, it has to be recognized as PPE. Otherwise, it has to be recognized as an inventory under Indian Accounting Standard 2. Okay. Clear? Is that clear? Okay. Yes. So recognition of PP, future economic benefit plus cost can be measured. Spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment accounted as a PP if it meet the definition and recognition criteria of PPE. If not, it will not be accounted. It will be accounted as an inventory. My dear friends, you want me to write that example also on the Excel file? You want me to write the example on the Excel file also for the future economic benefit? Yes or no? Okay. Yes, please. What about others? Others tell me whether you want me to write the example. Okay, everyone is saying yes, sir, so that we will get the handy notes. Okay. A government of Karnataka has given a special asset to ABC Limited, which will help ABC in their production, which is help ABC in their production, which will help ABC in their production for next 10 years. Means future economic benefit is also probable, right? So for next 10 years, they will get the benefit and this is an asset, okay, for next 10 years. Okay. Now, for next 10 years, such asset is not available in the market, and fair value cannot be determined. Whether the company can recognize this asset as a PP, बताइए करेंगे नहीं, why in this case the future economic benefit seems probable, but cost is not reliably measured. Hence, the company will not recognize this as a PP, as both the recognition condition is not meeting. Okay, is not meeting, right? Okay, second example, चलो जी second example भी लिख देते हैं. Okay, a company has purchased an asset, purchased a machinery from China for rupees 1 crore. Okay, the moment machine arrived in the factory, the Indian government banned the output from this machinery. Advise whether this will be capitalized as a PP. Advise whether this will be capitalized as a PP. Again, in this case, so let's look at the recognition condition. I'm just answering it in a different manner. Okay, future economic benefit is probable. No. Cost can be measured. Reliably. Yes. So since both the recognition condition is not meeting, this will not be capitalized as PPE. Are you happy now? Are you happy or not happy? Are you happy or not happy? भाई अब तो हैप्पी होंगे ना, अब तो मैंने लिख दिया, आंसर भी लिख दिया, क्वेश्चन भी लिख दिया, राइट? जब आप इसको when you know revise this Excel file, quickly you will be able to remember the example. Okay, right? Okay. So initial cost. So there are two kind of cost we discussed: initial cost and subsequent cost. What is the recognition criteria? What is the recognition criteria for initial cost? Future economic benefit should be probable, cost can be measured. The company has purchased a truck for rupees 50 lakhs for the purpose of transportation of goods. Is this a PPE? Answer is yes. It is a PPE. Future economic benefit is probable, cost can be measured reliably. It is a PPE. What is the accounting entry? PP account debit to bank account being truck purchased. What is subsequent cost? What is subsequent cost? So let's go to the presentation again. So friends, you can see I am teaching you on the PPT, and again I am going to the Excel file, right? Giving examples, writing examples, revising the topic. Okay. So at the same time you are learning, at the same time you are revising also. Okay. Right. So initial cost is quite clear. So whatever you are spending initially, it has to be measured as PP if both the condition will be satisfied. What are both the condition? Number one, future economic benefit should be probable. Number two, cost can be measured reliably. Cost can be measured reliably. Okay. Yes. Subsequent costs. Now, what about subsequent costs? You remember when we started this discussion, I have given you an example of car. The company has purchased a car. Whether this car is a PP, you all said, yes, sir, this car is a PP. Then I have given another example. I told after 5 years, the company has replaced the engine of the car. Then I asked whether this engine will be capitalized as a PP. You said, yes, sir. While I don't know how you guys have said, yes, sir, while your answer was right. Your answer was correct. Okay. So what is the cost which you are incurring after 5 years? Whether that engine replacement cost is an initial cost or a subsequent cost? This engine replacement cost is an initial cost or subsequent cost? This engine replacement cost is absolutely right, subsequent cost. It's a subsequent cost. What is meant by subsequent cost? Subsequent cost means a cost which is which is incurred subsequent to the purchase of the asset. Which is incurred subsequent to the purchase of the asset. What is meant by subsequent measurement? Subsequent measurement means a measurement after initial measurement. For example, you purchase a car on 1st January 2026. That is known as an initial measurement. But every reporting date, what you will do? हर एक रिपोर्टिंग डेट पे आप क्या करोगे? On every reporting date, what you will do? On every reporting date, you will charge depreciation. On every reporting date, you will charge depreciation. On every reporting date, you will evaluate the impairment. This is known as subsequent measurement. This is known as a subsequent measurement. Subsequent मतलब initial के बाद. Okay. So now the question comes, sir, if a company is incurring subsequent cost, that is after purchase of the asset, after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 4 months, if a company is incurring an expense, if a company is incurring an amount, spending a money on that asset, what is the treatment of the subsequent cost? Standard says that the treatment of the subsequent cost, the recognition of the subsequent cost criteria is the same criteria for the recognition of the initial cost criteria. What was the criteria? What was the recognition criteria? Future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. Future economic benefit should be probable and the cost can be measured reliably. So it says that same criteria followed as of initial recognition, added in the carrying amount of PP if recognition criteria is met. It says that for subsequent cost, same criteria needs to be followed which you have followed for the initial cost. What is that criteria? What is that criteria? Future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. So after 5 years, the life of the car is 10 years. After 5 years, the engine got damaged and the company has spent money on the replacement of the engine. The company has installed new engine in the car. Tell me, whether this new engine, whether the money is spent on new engine, whether it is satisfying both the recognition criteria. Future economic benefit should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. Yes. If this company will not replace the engine of the car, whether car will be roadworthy, whether car will be able to run on the roads? Answer is no. क्या कार चल पाएगी क्या? अगर कार चल ही नहीं पाएगी तो फ्यूचर इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट आएगा कहां से? So this means by replacing a engine, future economic benefit is probable. This car will be able to run for the next 5 years, right? Whether cost can be measured reliably, of course, if the cost is known, then if the cost is known, then both the conditions have been satisfied. Both the conditions has been satisfied. Okay, both the condition has been satisfied. It means this engine cost has to be capitalized. This engine cost has to be added to the cost of the cost of the asset, right? Engine cost has to be added to the cost of the asset. Added in carrying amount of PP if recognition criteria is met. Sir, if we add engine to the cost of the asset, to the cost of the car, don't you think in the books the car has two engine? In real life car has one engine. Yes or no? Yes or no? क्या होगा नहीं होगा? भाई बुक्स में तो कार जब आई थी तो कार इंजन के साथ ही आई थी ना. द कार केम विद द इंजन ओनली. Now I am capitalizing one more engine when I am replacing this engine, right? So you are absolutely right. The old engine needs to be de-recognized, right? We have to, because this old engine is scrapped, damaged. So we need to de-recognize the old engine and we need to recognize the new engine. We need to capitalize the new engine. Okay. So the criteria is given, future economic benefits should be probable, cost can be measured reliably. Now, you are also getting the service done for the car. You are also getting the service done for the car. Every year, or every 6 months, you took this car for the service center. You took this car to the service center every 6 months or every 1 year. You took the car to the service center and you get the service of the car. And you are paying 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, my dear friends. What happens in this case? Whether this service cost is also going to be capitalized, whether this service cost is also going to be capitalized. If the service will now let's evaluate with the both the condition. Future economic benefits should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. So if servicing will not happen, whether the car will be able to run for the lifetime, means for 10 years. अगर कार का इंजन ऑयल चेंज नहीं करेंगे, कार की सर्विस नहीं होगी तो कार चलती रहेगी. Answer is no. Whether cost of the car is known? Answer is yes. So future economic benefit is also probable when you do the service. Of course, car will be able to run. So both the conditions are satisfied. Will we capitalize this service cost? Standard says that day-to-day servicing cost, which includes labor and consumables, it needs to be expensed off. Day-to-day servicing cost, which includes labor and consumables, needs to be expensed off. What subsequent cost needs to be capitalized, my dear friends? The big cost needs to be capitalized, not the recurring cost. Whether engine is getting replaced every year. वो 5 लाख का इंजन गाड़ी में हर बार रिप्लेस होता है क्या? Whether this 5 lakh rupee engine is getting replaced every answer is no. But whether this car service is happening every year, of course yes, mandatory. Of course yes, right? 6 months, 1 year, it is yes, it is mandatory. Otherwise, the car will not be able to run. So friends, what subsequent cost is going to be capitalized? Subsequent cost in the form of major replacement, cost, major inspection, overhauls, etc. needs to be capitalized. So to cut a long story short, major cost of replacement, major expenditure incurred on repairs, and major inspection, right? Major replacement, inspection, overhauls, these needs to be capitalized as a part of the cost of the asset. These subsequent cost needs to be capitalized. Okay, right? So standard says that some items are a series of linked parts which require regular replacement at different intervals, different useful life. For example, in aircraft, what happens? In aircraft, there are some component, major component. Those values are in crores, right? While the life of the aircraft is 25 years, but there are some major component which is getting replaced at every 5 years. So what happens? after 5 years, so when the new aircraft was purchased, okay, this aircraft will live for 25 years. But one of the component costing 20 crore rupees, while the cost of the aircraft is 300 crore rupees, for example, 400 crore rupees, 300 crore rupees, and one of the major component costing 20 crore rupees. So this component will be replaced after 5 years. The life of the aircraft is 25 years. So what we will do? What happen after 5 years? Again, you have to spend 20 crore rupees. तो उस 20 crore rupees को क्या करेंगे? चार्ज टू P&L या कैपिटलाइज टू एयरक्राफ्ट? What we will do for 20 crore after 5 years? Whether we will capitalize and add to the aircraft or we will charge to P&L? We will capitalize. Friends, I am not getting answer from all of you. हम उसको कैपिटलाइज करेंगे, बट रविंदर, you are right, will capitalize, but Ravinder, what happened? The component, this component is also already capitalized, na? This component is already capitalized when the aircraft has come. वो 20 crore का component तो already था aircraft में. So standard says that if there is a major component and you know it is going to be replaced after a certain life, right? So that major component has to be break down and it has to be depreciated. It has to be depreciated over the life only, over the life of that component only. For example, the value of the aircraft is 300 crores. Example, the value of that component is 20 crores. How will you depreciate? बताइए कैसे depreciate करेंगे? The value of the aircraft is 300 crores. And you know this life is, let's say, 20 years. I'm just giving an example. One of the component which is installed in the aircraft, the value is 20 crores and its life is 5 years. Means every 5 years you have to replace it. Means in the journey of the aircraft, in the life of the aircraft, 4 times it is going to be replaced. 3 times it is going to be replaced. One तो वो आया ही aircraft के साथ. How will you depreciate this aircraft? Tell me. What is that first year depreciation? Please tell me. Apply your brain, apply your mind, apply the logic. Don't you think if this component is going to be replaced after 5 years, we know that this component will survive only for 5 years. So this component should be depreciation. Component 20 crore, life 5 years, right? So depreciation is 20 divided by 5 every year, right? Which is 4 crore. And remaining of the aircraft, 280 crores, 280 crore. Life is 20 years. So 280 divided by 20, 280 divided by 20, how much it will come? 14 crore. So the per annum depreciation is 18 crore. Ravinder, what happened with this component at the end of 5 years? What happened with this component? इस component की WDV क्या होगी रविंदर? What will be the WDV of this component after 5 years? It will be zero. It will be laddu, zero, nil, zero. And Ravinder, automatically it becomes zero. And what you have done? You have made this component zero. Now you are adding a new component. Again, you will depreciate the new component over the 5-year life. Guys, have you understood or not understood? Yes? Yeah? So some item are a series of linked parts which require regular replacement at different intervals for different useful life. The carrying amount of an item recognizes the cost of replacing a part when that cost is incurred if the recognition criteria is satisfied. The carrying amount of replaced part is derecognized. Okay, derecognized. Have you understood this concept? Yes. So now let me discuss a question from Alok Garg with all of you. Then I'll come to the question on the study material. Yes. Subsequent cost. तो देखिए आपके लिए मैंने नोट्स बना दिए. डे टू डे सर्विस और रेगुलर सर्विस फॉर एग्जांपल चेंज ऑफ एयर फिल्टर, ऑयल फिल्टर, change of engine oil, washing, right? So this will be charged to P&L. This will be charged to P&L. Okay, charged to P&L. ठीक है ना? P&L में चार्ज करेंगे ना या नहीं करेंगे? करेंगे नहीं करेंगे? करेंगे। मेजर रिप्लेसमेंट, ओवरहॉल्स, इंस्पेक्शन, मेजर replacement of engine after 10 years, for example, right? So capitalize as a part of PP&E. Okay. Example. Now, very good example. The company has purchased a truck for rupees 50 lakhs for the purpose of transportation of goods on 1st April 2014. Okay. The engine got damaged and require replacement. The engine got damaged and require replacement. Hence, the company has spent 20 lakh rupee on the replacement of the engine as on 1st April 2024, means after 10 years. The life of the truck is 20 years. The discount rate is 10%. I don't know why the discount rate is given in the question. I know, but I'm just predicting that I don't know. Okay. Advise how the initial cost and subsequent cost can be accounted in accordance with Ind AS 16. Question is clear or clear? Question is clear in mind or clear from mind? दोस्तों, क्वेश्चन क्लियर है या क्लियर है? क्वेश्चन आपका क्लियर है या क्लियर है? Whether the question is clear or clear? Tell me whether the question is clear or clear. The question is clear. Okay, the question is clear. So what happens? The company has purchased a truck for rupees 50 lakhs for the purpose of transportation of goods on 1st April 2014. Initial cost is 50 lakhs. What is the accounting entry? Can you tell me quickly? Initial measurement. Truck PP account debit on 1st April 2014. Truck PP account debit to bank account 50 lakh rupees. Okay. On 1st April 24, there is a replacement of engine. On 1st April 24, there is a replacement of engine. Okay. Okay. And this engine got damaged and require replacement. Hence, the company spent 20 lakh on the replacement of the engine on the 1st April 2024 after 10 years. The life of the truck is 20 years, discounted is 10%. So, initially the truck was capitalized at 50 lakh rupee, 20 years is the life. What is the depreciation per annum? What is the depreciation per annum? 50 divided by 20. 2.5 lakh per annum is the depreciation. Yeah, right? Depreciation account debit to accumulated depreciation account. 50 lakh divided by 20. Right? Debt divided by egg debt. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, after 10 years, the engine got damaged and the company has to replace the engine, and the cost of the engine is 20 lakhs after 10 years. So 50 lakh is the cost of the truck, 20 years is the life. What will be the WDV of the truck after 10 years? What will be the carrying amount of the truck after 10 years? कितना होगा 10 साल के बाद ट्रक का कैरिंग अमाउंट बैलेंस शीट में? I need answer from everyone. You're absolutely right. So 50% life has gone, 50% depreciation has gone, means 25 lakh is the carrying amount of the truck. 25 lakh is the carrying amount of the truck. Now, another question. Do you know the breakup of the truck and engine when this truck was purchased? Do you know the breakup, the cost of the truck and engine when this truck was purchased? No. You don't know. The company does not give you the Ashoka Leyland. Have you heard about Ashoka Leyland? Ashok Leyland will not give you the invoice giving a breakup of the truck and the engine. No, nobody gives you. So when you initially capitalize the asset, whether you capitalize the truck as a complete truck or you capitalize engine and the rest of the truck separately, क्या किया होगा आपने 10 साल पहले? What you have done 10 years before in your fixed asset register? Sir, we have capitalized the truck as a full truck for 50 lakh rupee. We did truck PP account debit to bank 50 lakh rupee. depreciation 2.5 lakh debit to accumulated depreciation 2.5 lakh every month. Okay. Now 10 year has gone. The truck met with an accident and this engine require a replacement. If this engine will not be replaced, the truck will not be able to run for the next 10 years. If this engine will be replaced, the company will be able to use the truck for next year for the purpose of next 10 years for the purpose of transportation. Okay. So future economic benefit is probable, cost is known, 20 lakhs. Now, my dear friends, whether this 20 lakh has to be charged to P&L or 20 lakh has to be added to the cost of the asset, वो जो 25 लाख का कैरिंग अमाउंट है उसमें 20 लाख को ऐड करेंगे या P&L में चार्ज करेंगे? We have to add to the cost of the carrying amount of the truck. We have to add to the cost of the truck, carrying amount of the truck. We have to add this 20 lakh to the 25 lakh. Now, my dear friends, if we have to add this 20 lakh rupee of engine to the truck, don't you think the truck already have one engine in the books? वो सच में रियल में टूट गया, रियल में डैमेज हो गया, बट किताबों में इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट इन द बैलेंस शीट ये इंजन तो ऑलरेडी ट्रक में है ना, जो 20 साल में डेप्रिशिएट हो रहा था और 50% डेप्रिशिएट हुआ था, राइट? सो हाउ विल वी डी रिकॉग्नाइज द ओल्ड इंजन फ्रॉम द ट्रक इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट? ये मत बोलना सर डी रिकॉग्नाइज वो पेचकस लेंगे और उसको खोल के निकाल देंगे. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. How will you de-recognize the truck, old engine from the truck? कैसे करें? सर हमारे पास तो वैल्यू नहीं है, कैसे करें? What should I do? Yogendra is suggesting, sir, do some present value of 20 lakh as on 1st April 2014. Sir, 20 lakh which you are spending today, what was the value of this 20 lakh 10 years ago? Means Yogendra is suggesting me, Saminathan is also suggesting me a mechanism to arrive at the value using current value. They are suggesting me a mechanism to arrive at the value when the truck was purchased. They are telling me, sir, use the concept of time value of money. Okay. They are saying, sir, you remember you have given a discount rate in the question. Probably you have given the discount rate for this day. Yes, you are absolutely right. So what is the concept in case of replacement? In case of major replacement, overhauls, right? New cost of component needs to be capitalized and old component needs to be decapitalized. Old components needs to be decapitalized. If old component cost value is not known, the current component cost needs to be taken. The current component cost needs to be taken to arrive at the cost of the old component. Friends, this is what you guys were telling me. आप यही बोल रहे थे ना? This is what you guys were telling me, yes or no? This is what you guys were telling me, yes or no? Yeah, Ravinder, you can see, I have also given you the concept in case of replacement in the Excel file. मैंने आपको यहाँ पे concept लिख के दे दिया है और उसको capitalize, decapitalize को आपको red करके भी दे दिया है ताकि याद रहे. Okay. So concept in case of replacement. In case of major replacement or overhauls, new cost of component needs to be capitalized and old component cost needs to be decapitalized. If old component cost value is not known, the current component cost needs to be taken to the current component cost needs to be taken to arrive at the cost of the old component, right? So you guys are absolutely right. Now what should I do? Cost of engine at 1st April 2014 will be the present value of current cost of new engine on the date of purchase of old engine. What is my current engine cost? My current engine cost is 20 lakhs. What is my present value factor? कैसे निकालूं? Present value factor कैसे निकालूं? 1 plus 10% to the power 10. 1 plus 10% to the power 10. Right? So what is my estimated cost of old engine? This multiply by this. This is my, sorry. This divide by this. This is my old. Divide करेंगे ना? Divide करेंगे नहीं करेंगे? This divide by this. Yes. 20 divide by 2.594. अगर multiply करना है तो क्या करना होगा स्वामीनाथन? Simple. Then you have to then you have to take this present value factor as 1 divided by 1 plus 10% to the power 10, right? Then you can multiply. Okay, so present value factor is 0.386. Okay, 20 multiplied by present value factor. You understood? You haven't understood? समझ आया या नहीं आया? समझ आया? Okay, very good, very good. Now we need to arrive at the WDV. We need, yes, you are absolutely right, Saminathan. Now we need to arrive at the WDV of the engine component at the end of the 10 year and the remainder of the truck, excluding engine. What is my WDV of the truck? My gross block is 50 lakh. My accumulated depreciation is how much? 50 lakh divided by 20 multiply by 10, as you all told me. Sir, accumulated depreciation for 10 years is 25 lakh, net block is 25 lakh, right? Now, my engine value, just a minute, multiply by, so this number is in lakhs now, so multiply by lakh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or should I do one thing, let's say, should I write complete number here, 20 lakh, okay, yes. So now what I did, I splitted this, my gross block of engine is coming from this number 771087, and what is my other than engine, what is my value of the truck gross block? This 50 lakh minus 771087. What is my accumulated depreciation for engine for 10 year? What is my accumulated depreciation? See, this 771087, this was supposed to be depreciated over a period of 20 years, right? Divide by 20, but 10 year has already gone. It means 50% depreciation has already been charged on this engine also. Will you agree or don't agree? The total depreciation should come as a 25 lakh, right? So 50% depreciation has already been charged. Okay, right? Okay, right? Anyone who has any problem in this calculation, you can see this 25 lakh, you can see accumulated depreciation आपका आ गया है 25 lakh का. Any problem, any doubt, any challenge? Any problem, any doubt, any challenge up to this level? Yeah? Rohan, Sai Kiran, Ravinder, Kanhaiya? No? Very good. Now, what is my revised gross block and net block on 1st April 24? My revised gross block is what? This is 20 lakh rupee. In new engine has been added to the gross block, and this other than engine, it is coming from here. Okay, this is my depreciation coming from here. Then there is no accumulated depreciation on the new engine, so my revised gross block becomes 6228. My revised accumulated depreciation is this much, my net block is this much. Now let's discuss the accounting entry. What is the accounting entry? Recognition of new engine PP account debit to bank. New engine PP account debit to bank. Okay, 20 lakh. Being new engine capitalized in truck. Derecognition of old engine. To old engine, at what value we will derecognize the old engine? My old engine value is 385,543. So derecognize old engine, to old engine PP account credit, debit loss on replacement account, P&L. Okay. Alternatively, what accounting entry I'll pass? I'll pass accumulated depreciation account debit. Accumulated depreciation account debit, क्योंकि वो क्रेडिट होता है तो आप डेबिट करोगे. Old engine gross block credit, and then your loss on replacement account debit. Friends, any challenge, any problem in this accounting entries? So this WDV of the old engine go to the loss on replacement account, P&L. Okay, P&L. Any challenge, my dear friends, in this question? Yeah, is it clear or clear? I need confirmation from everyone. Now, sir, you debited the entire scrap value You debited the entire WDV of the engine as a loss on replacement. Sir, the engine is a metal part. And of course, if you will sell in scrap, you will get something. For example, 2 lakh rupee has been received on account of sale of old engine as scrap. क्या एंट्री होगी बताइए, क्या एंट्री होगी if the old engine has been sold at a scrap value of 2 lakh rupee? What will be the accounting entry? What will be the accounting entry? क्या अकाउंटिंग एंट्री होगी? What will be the accounting entry? Bank account debit 2 lakh rupee, scrap 2 old engine credit 385. The difference will go to the loss on replacement. The difference will go to the loss on replacement account P&L. Loss on replacement account P&L. Okay. Okay. Is this clear or not clear? Is this clear or clear? Clear है या clear है? Friends, this is a very important aspect. In this question, we have discussed, we have understood how to arrive at a cost. Clear, sir? What about unwinding of interest? So, Saminathan, there is nothing called as an unwinding of interest. In this case, you have arrived at an asset value, right? So, sitting on today, you have arrived at an old value. This asset is not going to be debited or credited every year. This is not a liability, Saminathan. This is not a liability. Okay. Yeah. Clear? Okay. Now, let's discuss an important aspect of inspection. Friends, have you ever fly in an aircraft? Yes or no? Of course, yes. I know everybody has flown in an aircraft. Okay. You have seen an aircraft. Aircraft is a highly regulated machinery. Yes or no? Yes. Aircraft is a highly regulated machinery. Highly regulated. And you know, since this aircraft deals with the lives of the people, right? If I talk about the safest mode of transportation, you know what is the safest mode of transportation? Can you tell me what is the safest mode of transportation in this world? What is the safest mode of transportation? Saminathan is saying walking. Even it is not walking. There are a lot of injuries and deaths which are happening even due to walking. The people who are walking on the roads, right, on the streets. The safest mode of transportation is air transportation. Air transportation. Why I am saying safest? If you talk about the mishappenings, if you talk about the injuries, right? So if you talk about the mishappenings or injuries or accident, the lowest accident you found in the air travel, the highest accident you found in the road accident, then train accident, then air travel. But the accident which are happening in the air travel is the most scary, right? Nobody will be able to survive generally. Okay, nobody will be able to survive in that case. So friends, these kind of industries, these kind of assets are highly regulated and subject to the major inspection, right? For example, a company has purchased an aircraft. The life of the aircraft is 25 years. So when the aircraft will come, when the aircraft will came from the factory of Airbus or the Boeing, the aircraft is flying worthy. The aircraft is fully inspected, fully checked, right? Everything is clear. The life of the aircraft is 25 years. Okay. And of course, the authorities will do the major inspection of the aircraft in every 5 years. In every 5 years. So this is required by the DGCA rules, right? Aviation rules. And this major inspection, when I am saying major inspection, this inspection will cost, let's say, 10 crore rupees every 5 years. Doesn't matter whether there is a problem in the flying or not. The aircraft is fully fit, fully fine. It is fully flying worthy. But still, on the basis of completion of time, this inspection has to happen. the aircraft has to ground, the aircraft has to be inspected, and aircraft has the clearance has to be obtained, and then only this aircraft has to fly. Only then only this aircraft has to fly. Friends, this major inspection cost, right? And the value of the aircraft is, let's say, 200 crores. The major inspection cost is 10 crores. Life is 20 years for the aircraft, but this major inspection has to happen every 5 years. Now, first of all, tell me, after 5 years when this major inspection will happen, will you charge this major inspection to the P&L, or will you capitalize this major inspection to the cost of the asset, carrying amount of the asset? क्या करेंगे बताइए फटाफट. You will capitalize. So Aleti Yogendra is saying we will capitalize. So we will capitalize this major inspection cost as a part of the cost of the asset. But don't you think the earlier major inspection you have already capitalized? When this aircraft, when you paid 300 crore rupees, so this 10-15 crore of major inspection was already part of it. So Ravinder is saying it has to be charged to the P&L. Ravinder, I told you the subsequent cost like major inspection, major overhaul, major replacement. This is going to be capitalized. This is going to be capitalized, right? I told you why. The recognition condition is meeting. The recognition condition is meeting. If the company will not get this aircraft inspected, if the company will not get the clearance from DGCA, whether the company will be able to fly the aircraft, doesn't matter. The aircraft is fully fine. The aircraft is fit and fine. Don't you think this company will be able to fly the aircraft? Answer is no. Answer is no, right? Means recognition criteria is meeting. Recognition criteria is meeting, right? Absolutely, recognition criteria is meeting. Okay. So this recognition criteria is meeting. Okay. And this major cost of inspection is going to be capitalized. So this major cost, like you remember we discussed about the engine. Yes, we discussed about the aircraft and component. 280 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore has to be depreciated over 5 years. When you are aware that almost my inspection cost is 10-15 crore and every 5 years I have to get it inspected. So you will consider this as a separate component, right? And you will depreciate it over 5 years so that it will become zero. WDV will become zero. And the remainder of the aircraft, for example, the value of the aircraft is 100 crore. Your inspection component is, let's say, 10 crore. So 90 crore has to be shown as a remainder of the aircraft. 10 crore has to be shown as a inspection component and has to be depreciated separately over the useful life of the inspection period, right? So this major inspection, major overhaul, major replacement has to be going to be capitalized, right? If it meets the recognition condition, and the old component needs to be decapitalized. Let's discuss this example to understand it better. Jet Airways Limited purchased an aircraft for rupees 1 crore. The life of the aircraft is 20 years. As per DGCA rules, this aircraft has to be undergone with major inspection every 5 years. Such inspection cost is 15 lakhs. Please advise the accounting for initial cost and subsequent cost. Suggest the component accounting under Ind AS 16. This is known as a component accounting. So what is the life? What is the life of the inspection component? 5 years. What is the life of the aircraft other than inspection component? 20 years. So my gross block is 15 lakh for the inspection component. What is my gross block for the remaining? What is my gross block for the remaining part? मेरा gross block क्या होगा? 85 lakh. So accumulated depreciation 5 years. What is the accumulated depreciation for 5 years? 15 lakh. Divide by life, multiply by 5. 15 lakh. इसका क्या होगा? 85 lakh divide by life, multiply by 5. 2125. So my gross block is 1 crore, 3625 is my accumulated depreciation, 6375 is my net block. Now assuming at the end of the 5th year, the company has actually incurred a major inspection cost of 20 lakh because the inflation has come in, the value has gone up, right? So the actual major inspection cost is 20 lakhs. Advise the gross block and net block at the end of 5th year after this inspection. Revise gross block and net block in the date of incurrence of inspection. Inspection component 20 lakh, 80. So basically inspection cost will become 20 lakh, right? Accumulated depreciation 0. The old one was 15 lakh, which becomes 0. So now the new component has to be added to the gross block 20 lakh, and aircraft other than inspection is 85 lakh. This is my gross block of 1 crore 5 lakh. Revised gross block. This is my revised gross block and net block. Friends, let me know if you have any doubt. Let me know if you have any doubt in these two examples. Have you understood the concept of recognition condition, initial cost, subsequent cost, what is going to be capitalized, what is going to be replaced, what is going to be derecognized, how it is going to be derecognized? Have you understood or you haven't understood? Please tell me. You have understood it? Aircraft other than inspection should be, you're right, 6375. This is what it is there, Ravinder. Sir, why treatment is different on engine replacement and aircraft inspection? No, it is not different. No, it is not different, Saminathan. It is not different. Even in the same way we have done in this also, right? So I got you what you are saying, Saminathan. So basically, Saminathan, if this inspection cost would not have been given, if this inspection cost would not have been given at the beginning, so this inspection cost is given at the beginning, right? So inspection cost generally is 15 lakh rupee. For example, in the question it would have been given the current inspection cost is 20 lakh or 15 lakh. Then I'll use the discount rate and go back to the original amount, right? But here it is given, and you can see that the date and the period is not given, right? It is only given such inspection cost is 15 lakh. Means it was 15 lakh earlier also, it is 15 lakh current also, right? That's what I have understood. That's what I have assumed. If it would have been given at the current price, but the old one is not given, then, and the discount rate would have been given, then I would have discounted it. In this question, discount rate is also not given, right? Okay, so my dear friends, it's 8:33 now. Let's have a 12 minutes break and we will start at 8:45. Okay, let's have a break. Yes, Saminathan, on the basis of data, you need to work. Am I audible? Okay. Let's discuss this illustration number 8 from ICAI study material. Very, very important and a good illustration. MS Limited has acquired a heavy machinery at a cost of rupees 100 lakhs, 1 crore, with no breakdown of component parts. The estimated useful life is 10 years. Okay. And no breakdown of component part is there. At the end of the 6th year, one of the major component, the turbine, require replacement. So this turbine is a major component of a machinery. This require replacement as further maintenance is uneconomical, right? So further maintenance cannot be done on this machinery because it is uneconomical. So this turbine require replacement. The remainder of the machine is perfect, except turbine, everything is perfect and is expected to last for the next 4 years. Okay. So other than turbine, the machine is perfect and it can run for the next 4 years also. 6 years has already gone and the total life was 10 years. So if the turbine will be replaced, this machine will run for next 4 years as well. The cost of the new turbine is 45 lakh. Discount rate assumed is 5%. Analyze whether the cost of the new turbine can be recognized as an asset, and if yes, then apply the accounting treatment relevant to it. First of all, let's talk about the machinery. So machine has to be capitalized as a PP, machine account debit to bank account, right? 1 crore rupee. And what is the per annum depreciation? What is the per annum depreciation on this machine? Per annum depreciation क्या है फटाफट बताओ. 1 crore divided by 10. 10 lakh rupee per annum. Depreciation to accumulated depreciation 10 lakh rupee per annum, right? At the end of the 6th year, what is the accumulated depreciation? At the end of 6th year, what is the accumulated depreciation, Sai Kiran? At the end of 6th year, Sai Kiran, what is the accumulated depreciation? 60 lakhs. What is the carrying amount? What is the WDV carrying amount? 40 lakhs. 1 crore minus 60 lakh is equal to 40 lakhs, right? So this is the fact we understood, and at the end of the 6th year, this one of the component turbine got replaced at 45 lakh rupee. Okay, so now the total carrying amount is 40 lakh rupee. This turbine got replaced at 45 lakh rupee. We don't know what was the value of the turbine component when this machine was purchased. So what should we do? क्या करें? Because of course you will add this turbine as a cost of the asset. आप add तो करोगे as a cost of the asset. You will add 45 lakh rupee to the cost of the asset, to the gross block. You will capitalize, but you have to decapitalize the carrying amount of the old turbine. So how you will arrive at the carrying amount of the old turbine? First of all, you have to arrive at the gross block of the old turbine. How will you arrive at it? So if today's cost is 45 lakh rupee, what is the present value of this 45 lakh rupees 6 years back discounted at 5%? This will give you a present value 6 years back. That will be the value of the turbine, and remaining is the value of the machine, remainder of the machine. 1 crore minus whatever value come, that will become the remainder of the machine value, right? That is one. You need to split it. Now the total life is 10 year and you have depreciated up to 6 year. You will charge 6 year depreciation. You will get a carrying amount of the turbine. You will derecognize the old carrying amount of the turbine and you will recognize the new carrying amount of the turbine, new cost of the turbine. Now the point is whether this cost of 45 lakh you will add or you will charge to P&L. You will add. Okay, why? Because it is meeting the recognition condition. What is the recognition condition? क्या है recognition condition subsequent cost की? Same condition है. कौन सी same condition है? Future economic benefits should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. Future economic benefits should be probable and cost can be measured reliably. This is the recognition condition. Okay, hence it has to be capitalized, right? So let me discuss in the Excel file with all of you what should be the accounting treatment with the accounting entry. Current cost is 45 lakh rupee. Discount rate is 5%. What is my present value factor, my dear friends? What is my present value factor? My present value factor is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus 5% to the power 6, right? When I'll multiply 45 lakh with this, it gives me 33 lakh 57,000, 58,000. This is my present value of the old turbine. This is my present value of the old turbine. Yes. Now my turbine value is this much. What is my value of the other than turbine? 1 crore minus this, right? Now what you will do? Accumulated depreciation. What is the accumulated depreciation on turbine? Of course, turbine and the rest of the other than the turbine. So divide by 10 multiply by 6. Divide by 10 multiply by 6. 6 साल हो चुके हैं खत्म. Okay. What is my net block? My net block of turbine is 13,43,188. Right. Total is 60 lakh depreciation. What is the recognition entry? New turbine PP account debit to bank 45 lakh. Derecognition of old turbine, loss on replacement account debit to old turbine. Right. This is the value of the old turbine. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Is that clear? Not clear? Please tell me. Is that clear or not clear? Tell me. Clear? Very much clear, Ravinder? Yeah. Yes, this is what it is also given in the question. Udan Limited buys an aircraft for 90 lakhs. Under civil aviation rules, the aircraft requires a major inspection every 3 years at a cost of 5 lakh. 3 years after purchase, it undergoes its first major inspection. The cost in relation to this inspection amounting to 7 lakhs. So normally the cost of inspection was 5 lakh, but after 3 years it costed 7 lakh. Explain how the same should be accounted for in accordance with the requirement of Ind AS 16. कैसे करें? The original carrying value would have been allocated as follows: aircraft plus cost of inspection 85 plus 5 equal to 90 lakh. Ind AS 16 provides that in such case, original cost of inspection is derecognized and the new inspection cost will be recognized in the carrying amount. So, new inspection cost will be accounted for as an asset addition and the original cost as an asset disposal. Aircraft is equal to 85 lakh, inspection component is equal to original cost of inspection minus derecognition of original inspection plus new inspection cost plus 5 जो ऑलरेडी कैपिटलाइज था minus 5 derecognize कर दिया plus 7. So 7 lakh you need to add to the cost of the aircraft. I hope it is absolutely clear to all of you. Should I show you this inspection component in the real world example? Should I show you this inspection component in the real world example? You want to see it? दिखाएं या छोड़ दें? दिखाएं? Okay, दिल मांगे मोर. Okay. So let me show you. Let me show you the Indigo's annual report. I hope this Indigo's annual report is on the screen. Are you able to see this Indigo's annual report? Yes or no? Are you able to see this Indigo annual report? Yes. Okay. So your financial statement are at page number 134. Okay. Just a minute. Page number 134. Where is the paging? Okay. 134. Yes. Can you see owned aircraft and spare engines? Can you see this? Owned aircraft and spare engines? Yeah. Can you see this? Owned aircraft and spare engines. Aircraft and spare engines aircraft and engine component including spare engines, right? 20 years. Major inspection and overhaul cost 2 to 3 years. You can see this Indigo Airlines, one of the large listed company of India, one of the largest company, aviation company of India. This aircraft and engine components including spare engine is 20 years. Major inspection overall cost is 2 to 13 years. Right? Major inspection and overhaul cost 2 to 13 years. Have you seen people are capitalizing the major inspection cost? Right? दिखा या नहीं दिखा? Okay, should I zoom it? Are you able to see now? Yes? Okay. Yeah. So this is in the Indigo's annual report. Great. Great. Okay, let's move on. Now, friends, we understood initial recognition, initial cost and subsequent cost recognition we understood, right? Now let's talk about the measurement. Okay. At what value your PPE is going to be measured? Okay. So PPE has to be initially measured at cost. What is meant by cost? What is meant by cost? Cost means purchase price plus import duty plus non-refundable purchase taxes minus trade discount and rebates plus non-refundable purchase taxes. What is meant by non-refundable purchase taxes? What is meant by non-refundable purchase taxes? क्या मतलब है इसका? What is meant by non-refundable purchase taxes? For example, non-refundable GST for which input credit is not available. Okay. So let me explain the first part with the help of an example. A company has purchased a laptop for rupees 1 lakh. Okay. And company has imported this laptop. The company has imported this MacBook Apple laptop from USA. The cost of the laptop is 1 lakh rupee. The company has paid import duty of 40,000 rupees and company has paid GST of 20,000 rupees. Right? The company can claim the credit of GST in the other transactions. So basically the company can claim this input credit of GST of this 20,000 rupees. Now tell me, what is the cost of the laptop? What is the cost of the laptop? You are right, Samanathan. 1 lakh rupee value of the laptop plus 40,000 rupee import duty. 20,000 rupees, since it is refundable, inputable, it will not become the cost of the laptop. You are absolutely right. 140 is the cost of the laptop. Now, 20,000 rupee GST credit will not be given to the company. So 20,000 rupee GST credit, the company is not eligible. The company is not eligible to claim 20,000 rupees of GST credit. The company is not able to claim 20,000 rupees of GST credit. Okay. Yes. So my dear friends, in this case, since 20,000 rupee again will become cost to the company, no benefit will be given. So in this case, what will be the cost of the laptop? In this case, cost of laptop will be 1,60,000 rupees. Okay. So what is my one of the leg of the cost? What is my one of the leg of the cost? Okay. So number one, purchase price plus import duty plus non-refundable taxes minus trade discount and rebates. Okay. Then plus directly attributable cost. Okay. Plus directly attributable cost. What is meant by directly attributable cost? Directly attributable cost means those incremental costs which are directly related to the acquisition, construction or production of the asset. Right? So directly attributable costs are those incremental costs which are directly related to the acquisition, construction, or production of the asset. This is known as a directly attributable cost. And one of the simplest way of remembering the meaning of directly attributable cost means this cost would not have been there if this cost would not have been incurred if the asset has not been acquired. For example, a company has purchased a machinery from China. Now, company has paid 20,000 rupees for taking that machinery from China port to India port, because that machine has to travel from China to India, na? So company has incurred a transportation cost. Then company has incurred another transportation cost, freight cost, from Indian port to the factory. Okay. Then company has also incurred installation cost for the purpose of installing and running the machinery. Right? This machinery is a highly specialized machinery. The company has to incur some expenditure on the technician and the trainers to start the machinery. Friends, whether these transportation cost, freight cost, installation cost, technician and trainer cost, whether these costs would have been incurred if this machinery would not have been acquired? Yeah, of course, no. These costs would not have been incurred if this machinery would not have been acquired. It means these costs are considered as a directly attributable cost. Okay, so what is a directly attributable cost? Directly attributable cost are those incremental costs. Directly attributable costs are those incremental costs, right? Those incremental costs which is directly related to the connection of purchase, acquisition, or construction of the asset. Number one. Number two, these costs would not have been incurred if the asset would not have been acquired or produced. And directly attributable costs are those costs which are necessary to bring the asset in the location and condition for making it available for use. Friends, have you understood it or you haven't understood it? Please let me know. आपको ये समझ आया या नहीं आया? प्लीज बताइए. आ गया? You are absolutely right, Saminathan. Third, what is the third leg? The third leg is once you added purchase cost plus import duty plus non-refundable tax minus trade discount and rebate plus directly attributable cost plus initial estimate of the cost of dismantling and removing and restoring. The company has installed telecom tower. The company has installed telecom tower. Okay. The company has installed a telecom tower on the rooftop of a lessor, right? So for example, Saminathan's house is there. So Saminathan has given its rooftop to Bharti Airtel for installing the telecom tower. Now, what is the cost of the telecom tower which is capitalized as a PP? Of course, that the cost of the steel, cost of the installation, cost of the labor. So those costs needs to be capitalized as a cost of PP. Now Saminathan has given this space for 10 years. Saminathan told that after 10 years you have to give me my rooftop, you have to give me my space in the same condition in which I have given to you, right? So this Bharti Airtel has to incur some dismantling cost, site restoration cost, removal cost, right? So why this company is required to incur site restoration, decommissioning and removal cost? Why? Because this company has installed this telecom tower with a condition that after 10 years this site has to be restored, this tower has to be dismantled. Standard says that the initial estimate, standard says that the initial estimate of the decommissioning and dismantling and removal has to be added to the cost of the asset, added to the cost of the PPE. Now my dear friends, let's understand this entire journey with the help of an example. कैसा रहेगा अगर एक एग्जाम्पल के साथ समझ इस तीनों चीजों को समझें तो? हाउ डू यू थिंक? What do you think? How it will be? If we will understand this concept with the help of an example, complete example, great. Let's have the journey from good to great. Measurement at initial recognition cost. Cost is equal to purchase price plus import duty plus non-refundable taxes. For example, GST in case input credit will not be allowed, minus trade discount and rebates if any, plus directly attributable cost. The cost has been avoided if the asset has not been acquired. Estimated decommissioning cost or site dismantling cost. Okay. Let's discuss this question. Right. ABC Tower Limited has installed the telecom tower and spent 20 lakh for the purchase of raw material. Tower material. Raw material means tower material. Okay. 5 lakh rupee on the assembly and installation and 2 lakh rupee on the civil work. This company has spent 5 lakh rupee on assembling, while the tower is a huge telecom tower. So it will come into the pieces and the parts. So the company spends 20 lakh rupee for the purchase of tower material. Now the company is assembling, installing. So it spent 5 lakh on the assembly and installation, and it is spending 2 lakh rupee on the civil work. The life of the tower is 20 years, and after 20 years, the company is required to dismantle the tower and restore the space in the same condition which was there before installation of tower. Okay, which was there before installation of tower. The estimated cost of decommissioning and restoration comes out at rupees 10 lakh rupee. Comes out at 10 lakh. Okay. So life of the tower is 20 years, and after 20 years, the company is required to dismantle the tower and restore the space. This 10 lakh rupee, this decommissioning and restoration cost, this is today's cost or after 20-year cost? ये कब की, आज की कॉस्ट है या 20 साल बाद की कॉस्ट है? This is after 20-year cost. This is decommissioning cost after 20 years. This is estimated cost after 20 years. Okay. So if this estimated cost is after 20 years, what do you think? What should I do? If this decommissioning cost is after 20 years, what should I do? Whether I should capitalize this estimated cost of decommissioning and dismantling, for 20 lakh rupee or a value other than 20 lakh rupee. Tell me. बताइए. Yes, it is present value. It is present value, right? So 20 lakh is the cost which is incurred after 20 years. I am capitalizing my PP today. 20 लाख मुझे 20 साल के 10 लाख मुझे 20 साल के बाद खर्च करने हैं, right? Means my cost, my decommissioning cost, my site restoration cost is 10 lakh rupee after 20 years, right? So, and I am capitalizing my PP today. Purchase price plus non-refundable taxes, import duty, directly attributable cost plus estimated cost of decommissioning and site restoration. So I will compute the present value today. So what is the present value today for an amount which has to be spent 10 lakh rupee after 20 years? Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Yes. So my dear friends, let's discuss this. Okay. So means Oh, sir, discount rate is also given. The discount rate is 10% for the company. Yes, calculate the cost of PP tower in this case and help with the accounting entries और accounting entry भी मांगी है. Help with the accounting entries. So what is my cost of PP? What is my cost of PP? So whether this tower material, whether this will be my cost of PP? ये tower material cost of PP होगा? Of course होगा. Yes, 20 lakh rupee. Yeah. Assembly and installation. Assembly and installation. What is my assembly and installation cost? 5 lakh rupee. What is my civil work cost? My civil work cost is 2 lakh rupee. What is my initial estimated decommissioning cost? What is my initial estimated decommissioning cost? कितनी होगी? I need to compute my decommissioning cost after 20 year is 10 lakh rupee. Okay. Discount rate is 10%. So what is my present value of the decommissioning cost? 10 lakh divided by 1 plus 10% to the power 20. 1,48,644, right? So my initial estimated decommissioning cost would be 148,644. My total cost of PP will be 28,48,644. What is the accounting entry? PP tower account debit. This much. To bank. How much is the bank? 20 plus 5 plus 2. This 148 will go to the provision for decommissioning obligation, right? What is my depreciation per annum? Right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Yeah, this is clear to everyone. Now, sir, this 148,644, what is this provision for decommissioning obligation which is recognized at 148,644, right? First of all, whether this provision for decommissioning obligation, whether it is a provision as per Ind AS 16 or as per Ind AS 37, whether this provision is as per Ind AS 16 or Ind AS 37. Yeah, ये Ind AS 16 के हिसाब से है या Ind AS 37 के हिसाब से? This provision comes from the Ind AS 37. Provisions, contingent liability and contingent asset. You are absolutely right, Manish. Right? Okay. So friends, now, sir, what will happen with this 148,644? Friends, this 148,644 will become 10 lakh at the end of 20 year and 10 lakh rupee will be paid. For example, let me prepare a provision for decommissioning obligation schedule for 20 year. Can I show you this schedule? Right. So this is my opening balance. What is my interest cost? I have to charge interest on this liability every year. See, the liability after 20 years, the liability of 10 lakh is equivalent to 1.48 lakh today, right? So 1.48 lakh today will become 10 lakh after 20 years. How 1.48 become 10 lakh, Manish? ये 1.48 10 कैसे बनेगा? Compounding. You have to charge interest on this liability every year. So this multiply by 10%. Payment of course 0. Closing balance this plus this plus this, right? This will become the opening balance. You will charge interest of 10%. Finance cost. Payment is 0. Closing is this much. Let me drag this for 20 years. Right? You can see this liability become 10 lakh rupee. This liability will become 10 lakh rupee. And for example, you paid 10 lakh rupee at the end of the 20th year, it becomes 0. Your liability will become 0. So what is your accounting entry? Every year you will pass interest expense or finance cost account debit to provision for decommissioning obligation. You can see this amount has been compounded, and after 20 year provision for decommissioning obligation account debit to bank. Okay, 10 lakh rupee. Okay, and what is the interest expense? Total interest expense. This entry has to be passed every year. What is the total interest expense? Your total interest expense is how much? This 8,51,356. Difference between 10 and 148,644. Sir, for example, since after 20 year it is just an estimate. Example, assume after 20 years the actual payment made is 11 lakh rupees. Then what is the accounting entry? 11 lakh. Then what is the accounting entry? Provision for decommissioning obligation account debit. To bank 10 lakh. To bank 11 lakh. Right. So then there is a additional expense on decommissioning, P&L. The difference will go to the P&L. Assuming after 20 years, the actual payment made is 9.5 lakh. Then what is the accounting entry? Provisions for decommissioning obligation account debit 10 lakh. To bank 9,50,000. Right. So then your gain on settlement of decommissioning obligation, right? P&L credit. Right? Clear? Is that clear to everyone? Everyone, is that clear or not clear? Yeah? Manish? Clear? Is this clear? Not clear? Please tell me. Sai Kiran? Any question, Sai Kiran? Any question? Anyone? Any question? Yes or no? Friends, please tell me if it is clear to each and every one of you. I hope it is clear to each and every one of you. Yes? No question? Great. This is a very important standard. I must say this is a very important standard. Very important. Right? That is why I am going very slow. I am discussing a lot of concept. I am discussing with the example. Okay. So you have to understand it very well. Very well. Okay. Great. Now let's go to this thing. So we discussed it, right? So the measurement of PP has to be initially at cost. Cost means purchase price plus import duty plus non-refundable purchase taxes minus discount and rebates plus directly attributable cost plus initial estimate of the cost of dismantling and removing the item and restoring. Right? Then what is my directly attributable cost example? Cost directly related to bringing the asset to the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in the manner intended by the management. Any cost which is directly related to bringing the asset to the location and condition which is necessary for making it capable of using the asset in a desired manner, right? उस एसेट को यूज करने के लिए अगर उस एसेट को किसी लोकेशन या कंडीशन में लाना पड़े और उसकी जो भी कॉस्ट हो उसको क्या कहेंगे? डायरेक्टली एट्रिब्यूटेबल कॉस्ट. जैसे चाइना से इंडिया फैक्ट्री में अगर आना है तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट लगानी पड़ेगी या नहीं लगानी पड़ेगी? मशीन को चालू करना है तो इलेक्ट्रिकल फिटिंग करनी पड़ेगी या नहीं करनी पड़ेगी? इंस्टॉलेशन करना पड़ेगा या नहीं करना पड़ेगा? दीज ऑल आर डायरेक्टली एट्रिब्यूटेबल कॉस्ट. एग्जांपल्स आर एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट अराइजिंग directly from construction or acquisition of fixed asset or PP. Cost of site preparation, installation cost, initial delivery and handling cost, installation and assembly cost, professional fee, testing, trial run cost. आपने कभी देखा है ट्रायल रन? कोई फैक्ट्री जब स्टार्ट होती है, when the factory is getting inaugurated, so normally the trial run production happens. Okay, trial run production. Okay, so whatever is the trial run expenses, it has to be capitalized to the cost of the factory, cost of the machine, cost of the asset. Okay, and if there is any revenue, if there is any income, for example, you produce some goods from the trial run production, you sold these goods at 80% discount, so 20% money you receive. Okay, so for example, from trial run expenses was, let's say, 2 crore rupee. So 2 crore has to be added to the cost of the asset, but you also get 20 lakh rupee from the sale of the goods produced in the trial run phase. So that 20 lakh rupee will be deducted from the cost of the asset. Okay. So trial run expenses, trial run income, net amount has to be added to the cost of the asset. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone or not clear to everyone? डायरेक्टली एट्रीब्यूटेबल कॉस्ट एग्जांपल्स कौन से एग्जांपल हैं? ये वो हैं जो एग्जांपल नहीं है. These are those examples which are not example. These are those examples which are not example. These are those example which are not example. कौन कौन से हैं? ये कौन से एग्जाम्पल हैं जो एग्जाम्पल नहीं है? कौन से हैं? मेरी हेल्प तो करो. Nobody is helping me. You guys are not liking me. You guys don't want that I'll teach you. Yeah. If you want, but you are not helping me. I don't know why, but you're not helping me. कौन कौन से एग्जाम्पल्स हैं which are not the example of which are not the example of your which are not the example of directly attributable cost? बताइए. Yes. Yes. कौन कौन से एग्जाम्पल है? For example, cost of conducting business in a new location or with a new class of customer, including cost of staff training. The company has shifted its plant from India to China. Now the company is giving a training to its staff for learning Chinese language. Chinese language. So whether this Chinese language training, whether this will be capitalized as a cost of the plant in China, क्या मैं कॉस्ट ऑफ फैक्ट्री में ऐड कर दूं इस चाइनीज लैंग्वेज की ट्रेनिंग कॉस्ट को? करूं या ना करूं? It will not be capitalized. So cost of conducting a business in a new location or with a new class of customer, like example of staff training, it is not going to be capitalized as the cost of the asset, cost of PP. Second, cost incurred in introduction a new product or a service. A company has launched a new product. Company has invited Amitabh Bachchan to endorse the new product. Amitabh Bachchan is charging 10 crore rupees for endorsing the new product. Whether this 10 crore rupee will be added to the cost of the asset. Whether this 10 crore rupee will be added to the cost of the asset. Yeah. No, it will not be added to the cost of the asset, right? This has to be advertisement and campaigning cost. This will not be added to the cost of the asset. This has to be charged to the P&L. Then cost of opening a new facility. Now the company is inaugurating a factory. The company is inaugurating a office, and for that the company has invited, whom company has invited? The South Indian star who become chief minister now. The company has invited whom? किसको इनवाइट किया? अभी साउथ इंडियन स्टार, कौन सा साउथ इंडियन स्टार चीफ मिनिस्टर बना है? विजय थलपति. The company has invited Vijay Thalapathy to inaugurate the factory. Vijay Thalapathy charged 100 crore rupees. Whether this 100 crore rupees paid to Vijay Thalapathy will be added to the cost of the factory? Answer is no, it will not be added to the cost of the factory. Okay, right? It has to be charged to the P&L. Then administrative and general overhead cost. Administrative and general overhead cost, like your audit fee. So Manish is auditing a company, and company is constructing a factory. So Manish is also looking at the capital work in progress, capitalization. He is also auditing. So whether the audit fee paid to Manish, whether a portion of audit fee will be allocated to the cost of factory also? Answer is no. So administrative and other general overhead cost will not be capitalized as a part of the cost of the asset. Or initial operating losses. For example, there is a abnormal losses. There are initially operating losses. For example, you started the production. After trial run, in the initial 1 or 2 year, there will be operating losses. Then the profit will start coming. Then the income will start coming, profit will start coming. Initially, there is a operating losses. If there is a operating losses, whether those operating losses are going to be capitalized? Whether those operating losses are going to be capitalized? Answer is no. Operating losses, these has to be charged to the P&L. These has to be charged to the P&L. Okay. Decommissioning cost, we have already spoken about decommissioning cost. Cost towards dismantling and removing the asset and restoring the asset original site after use. Corresponding obligation recognized as a provision under Ind AS 37. For example, building an additional internal wall with condition that property will be returned in the original state at the end of the lease. Typically arise in oil and gas, mining and electricity industries. So this we have already covered. Now, let's discuss a question from ICAI study material. This question is ICAI study material, okay, from ICAI study material. Can we discuss this question? I need your answer quickly. ABC Limited purchased furnace machinery for a gross price of 200 crore. Please mind the words. Gross price. जब आप क्वेश्चन पढ़ोगे बड़े ध्यान से पढ़ना, क्या लिखा है? ग्रॉस. व्हाट इज मीन बाय ग्रॉस? ऑल इंक्लूसिव. Gross price of 200 crores. Oh, the seller granted 0.5% rebate on the gross price of the machinery. Seller granted a rebate of 0.5%. What is 0.5% of 200 crore? 1 crore. 1 crore. 1 crore is trade discount and rebate. What is the treatment of trade discount and rebate? It will reduce the cost of the asset. It will reduce the cost of the asset. Okay. So means 200 minus 1. The gross price includes excise duty of 20 crore for which input credit can be claimed by the company. The gross price includes the excise duty of 20 crore also, for which input credit can be claimed. So what is the treatment of 20 crore? It is a refundable purchase taxes. It is not a non-refundable purchase taxes. So this excise duty, since it is part of 200 crore, you have to reduce it from 200 crore. So 200 minus 1 minus 20, right? Okay. Then it also incurred 15 crore as a transportation cost. Whether this transportation cost is a directly attributable cost, transportation cost, handling charges and insurance, whether it is also a directly attributable cost, yes, it is a directly attributable cost. So this 15 crore of handling transportation is going to be added. 5 crore for installation. If machine will not be installed, it will not be able to perform, right? And why this installation cost is happening? Because the machine has been purchased. And 3 crore rupees for testing and professional fee. What is the treatment of 15 plus 5 plus 3? It will be added as a directly attributable cost to the cost of the asset. It has earned 20 lakh rupee from selling goods produced out of testing. In the trial run phase, the company spent 3 crore rupees on a trial run phase, but the company has also earned 20 lakh rupee from selling the goods produced out of the testing phase. So what is the treatment of 20 lakh? Yes, 0.2. You are absolutely right, Manish. 0.2 crore means 20 lakh has to be deducted from the 3 crore. Okay. In nutshell, 20 lakh will reduce the cost of the asset, cost of PP. The company borrowed rupees 100 crore for financing the new purchase at the rate of 10%. This company has borrowed 100 crores from the State Bank of India for constructing this machinery factory. The entire process of purchase to make the operation took 15 months, and company is incurring a borrowing cost also 10% on 100 crore, and this took 15 months to get the machine ready for the production. The loan was outstanding during the period. Okay. So what is the treatment of this paragraph? You all are CA final student, you understand this. क्या करें? ये जो 100 करोड़ रुपए का लोन है, 10% का बोरोइंग कॉस्ट है, and there is a 15 months period also. So friends, help me here. So what should I do with this information? क्या करना है मुझे इस information का? What should I do with this information, guys? Yes, it has to be added as a borrowing cost as per Ind AS 23. It has to be added as a borrowing cost. 100 crore multiply by 10%, multiply by 15, divide by 12. This interest cost is going to be capitalized as a part of the cost of the asset. आपने अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 16 में पढ़ा होगा. रोहन, रविंदर, साई किरण, योगेंद्र, have you guys read this in accounting standard days?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. You guys have read in this accounting standard days? Yes. Okay, very good. But now the question is again saying the company earned 10 lakh rupee from short-term parking of the money borrowed pending payment to supplier and meeting all cost. While the company has taken a loan of 100 crore, 100 crore cannot be spent on a single day. So the company has the money, right? 100 crore the company is spending sequentially, the company is spending gradually. So now the company is also earning some interest. Company is earning some interest. Okay. So what will be happen with that interest? जो borrowed money है उससे कंपनी कुछ इंटरेस्ट अर्न भी कर रही है, इंटरेस्ट पे भी कर रही है, अर्न भी कर रही है. So this interest earning, interest income has to be reduced to the borrowing cost, reduced from the borrowing cost, right? What should be the initial cost of the machinery? So while reading the question, we have solved the question, but let me show you formally. This purchase price is 200 crores, 1 crore is the rebate, 20 crore is the refundable tax. This 179 crore is the purchase price, net. Transportation handling insurance is 15, 5 is installation, testing is 3, 20 lakh rupee is the earning, 2.8 crore is the net amount which is going to be added to the cost of the asset. Borrowing cost capitalization 100 multiplied by 10% multiplied by 15 by 12, 12.5 crore. 10 lakh rupee earning from short-term parking of borrowed funds pending utilization, 10 lakh rupee, 12.4 crore is the amount which is going to be capitalized. Your initial cost of machine is 214.20 crore, right? Any doubt, any question here? Any doubt, any question here? Yes? Do you find this class useful or you are not finding this class useful? Are you able to understand the concept completely? Yeah? Thank you, Ravinder. Thanks for your consistent feedback. Thank you so much. Yeah? For every concept we are discussing in detail, for every concept we are discussing with one example, one question in the Excel file and another question from ICAI study material, right? Okay. Yes. Now, let's discuss the concept of deferred payment credit. Sir, we understood that in case of initial measurement of PPE, PPE has to be initially measured at cost. PPE has to be initially measured at cost. Sir, we understood meaning of cost as well. Cost means purchase price plus import duty plus non-refundable purchase taxes minus trade discount and rebates plus directly attributable cost plus initially estimated cost of dismantling and site restoration. Okay. Friends, then we discussed that how this cost has to be measured, how the provision for decommissioning has to be measured, right? We discussed all those aspects. But let's say what happened if the company is buying the asset on a credit basis and the company is buying the asset on a deferred payment credit basis. The company is not paying upfront. The company is paying on a postponed basis, on a deferred payment basis. Okay. And due to deferred payment, the company is paying a higher amount of the company is paying higher amount for the asset. Let's take an example to make you guys understand the meaning of deferred payment credit. So Manish went to the showroom to buy a car. Manish told the dealer that I want to buy this Tata Nexon car. What is the price of Tata Nexon? The dealer told, sir, the price of the Tata Nexon is 10 lakh rupee. Manish said, okay. Right? Manish paid 10 lakh rupee and Manish got the keys of the car and Manish went to the temple, right? Puja karaya और उसके बाद he came happily with the car. Then Ravinder went to buy the car. Again, Ravinder asked, what is the price of the Tata Nexon car? And Ravinder told, I don't have the money right now and I will pay you after 1 year. This is my security, this is this is that. The showroom dealer knows Ravinder very well, right? And he knows that he will pay the money. But he told Ravinder that the price is 11 lakh rupee best price. And don't worry, you can pay me after 1 lakh, after 1 year. Okay. For Manish, it was 10 lakh rupee. For Ravinder, it was 11 lakh rupee. So both car is a property, plant and equipment for both of them. and both of them will pass the accounting entry for the purchase of the car on the day one. Doesn't matter. Manish has paid upfront. Ravinder will pay after 1 year. Going by the accrual principle, आप कार को कैपिटलाइज कब करोगे? When you will capitalize the car? Both of you. On the date of purchase. आप डेट ऑफ पेमेंट पे करोगे, डेट ऑफ परचेज पे करोगे? डेट ऑफ परचेज पे करोगे या डेट ऑफ पेमेंट पे करोगे? यू विल डू ऑन द डेट ऑफ परचेज. You will capitalize the car on the date of purchase. Okay, not on the date of payment, on the date of purchase. Okay, on the date of purchase. Yes. So friends, on when you capitalize the car on the date of purchase, tell me at what value Manish will capitalize and at what value Ravinder will capitalize. Ravinder will pay 11 lakh rupee after 1 year and Manish has paid 10 lakh rupee. Tell me at what value Manish will capitalize and what value Ravinder will capitalize. Manish is saying both 10 lakh rupee. What about you, Ravinder? And what about you, Saminathan and others? Saminathan is saying, sir, 10 lakh rupee both will capitalize. Rohan, what about you? क्या करेंगे? 10 लाख रुपए दोनों कैपिटलाइज करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे? Ravinder is also saying, sir, 10 lakh rupee, both of them will capitalize. So means, if everybody is saying the same thing, I have to go with all of you, right? जनता जनार्दन की तो बात सुननी पड़ेगी ना, नहीं तो प्रोटेस्ट शुरू हो जाएगा. होगा या नहीं होगा प्रोटेस्ट शुरू? So I'll go by the audience. Yes, you are absolutely right. 10 lakh rupee will be capitalized as a value of the car, as a cost of the PPE by both of you. But sir, Ravinder is paying 11 lakh rupee. He will pay 11 lakh rupee. Sir, if we will do car account debit 10 lakh rupee to vendor account 10 lakh rupee, right? Car is capitalized by 10 lakh, vendor is credited by 10 lakh. Now sir, after 1 year when he will pay 11 lakh rupee, what will be the accounting entry? अकाउंटिंग एंट्री कैसे होगी? वेंडर का अकाउंट कैसे सेटल होगा? कार इज डेबिटेड बाय 10 लाख. ओके, फेयर एनफ. वेंडर इज क्रेडिटेड बाय 10 ओनली. हाउ द अकाउंट इज गोइंग टू बी सेटल्ड? Vendor has been credited by 10 lakh on the day one. You are absolutely right, Manish. Interest will be charged, right? So car account debit to vendor liability 10 lakh rupee. Then at the end of the year, interest expense account debit to vendor liability by 1 lakh rupee. Now this vendor liability become 11 lakh rupee. Now you will debit vendor liability debit by 11 lakh, credit bank by 11 lakh. It means whenever the PP is purchased on a deferred payment credit basis, then the PPE has to be capitalized at a cash price equivalent. PPE has to be capitalized at a cash price equivalent. Cost of an item of PPE, cost of property, plant and equipment is the cash price equivalent at the recognition date. If payment is deferred beyond normal credit terms, then the difference between the cash price equivalent, which is 10 lakh, and the consideration actually paid, which is 11 lakh, will be recognized as an interest over the period of the time. Right? Over the period of time. Is that clear to everyone? Is it clear? Not clear? Please tell me. Clear है या नहीं है? Is this clear or not clear? Clear? Clear with clarity or clear with ambiguity? Clear with clarity or clear with ambiguity? Yeah? Clear with clarity? Okay, great. Now let's discuss illustration number 1 on deferred payment credit from ICAI study material. On 1st April 20x1, an item of property means a property. Okay, item का मतलब ये मत समझना property में से ईंट निकाल कर बेच रहे हैं. It is not bricks of the building. It is a property. Okay, on 1st April 20x1, and a property is offered for sale at rupees 10 million. 10 million means 1 crore. 10 million means 1 crore. Right? With payment terms being 3 equal installments of 33, 33, 333. With payment terms being 3 equal installments. So this 1 crore is getting paid in 3 equal installments, 33, 33, 333, over a 2-year period. Payments are made on 1st April, 31st March and 31st March. Payments are made on 1st April 20x1, 31st March 20x2 and 31st March 20x3 and 31st March 20x3. Okay. Implicit interest rate of 5.36% per annum. Implicit interest rate of 5.36% per annum. Okay. So payments are made on 1st April, means at the date when the asset was purchased, and at the end of the first year, at the end of the second year. And the rate of interest is also given, implicit interest rate. Pass necessary journal entries for recording the property in accordance with Ind AS 16. कैसे record करें इसको? Help me understand and solve this question. How will I solve this question? Friends, कैसे solve करूं मैं इस question को? How can I solve this question? कैसे solve करना है बताइए? First of all, I need to compute the present value. Right? I need to compute the cash price equivalent. Illustration number 1 of ICAI study material. You need to compute the cash price equivalent. So on the first day, I will pay 33, 33, 333. At the end of the first year, this much. At the end of the second year, this much. What is my present value factor for the first payment? It is getting paid on the date of purchase. It is 1. What is my present value factor for the end of the first year? Equal to 1 divided by 1 plus 5.36%. Okay. This is my present value factor. Okay. This is my present value factor. Then this divide by 1 plus 5.36%. This is my present value factor for the end of the second year. Now what is my present value? This multiply by this. The total comes at 95 lakh, 94,99,895, which is 95 lakh is the present value. So what is my cash price equivalent? Step number 1, calculate the cash price equivalent, 95 lakh rupees. Now I need to compute my closing balance. Now I need to compute my interest in the closing balance in the 2-year period. What is my opening balance? 94,99,895. Okay. How much is the interest? On 94,99,895? How much is the interest? Friends, I have to make a upfront payment. Of how much? This much. And I have to charge interest at the rate of 5.36%. Interest at the rate of 5.36%. Okay. So how much interest I'll charge? This plus this multiply by 5.36%. Are you okay with this calculation or not?
Sir, we need to subtract it.
We need to?
Yeah, okay. This is a negative symbol. Okay, sir. Okay.
See, 33. So what I did? This plus this, because my payment is into the negative sign. Na? So my interest is, or let me do one thing. Let me put the interest column here. Okay. So just a minute. So my interest will be open on the opening day. It was 95 lakh rupee of payment was there, right? So basically out of 95 lakh, on the day 1, what you have done on the day 1? You have done PP account debit with 95 lakh, right? And you are paying 33 lakh also, right? So remaining will go to the creditor. So what is my liability on the day one? 95 minus 33, 333, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes or
sir.
no? यहां समझ आया नहीं आया?
Yes,
किसी को
yes.
कोई चैलेंज तो नहीं है? Multiply by 5.36%, or if there is a challenge, let me allow to complete this calculation. So my 64,97,090 is my closing balance on 31st March 2002, right? What I'll do, 64,97,090 is my balance, and I am paying 33,333 on 31st March 2002. Again, I will charge an interest on which value? This plus this, multiply by 5.36%. Okay. Now I have on 31st March 31st March 20x3, 33, 334. I am paying 33, 334. Interest 0. Closing balance 0. Right. So what is my accounting entry? PP account debit 95 lakh. To bank account 33, 333. To creditor account 61, 66, 667. Okay. Now on 31st March to interest expense account debit. Interest expense account debit to creditor account. What is my interest expense? My interest expense is 330,528. Okay. Now what is my next entry? Creditors account debit to bank account. I'll pay creditors account debit to bank on 31st March 02. Right. Then on 31st March 3, my interest expense account debit to bank account. Yes. And creditors account debit to bank. This is the accounting entries. What is the summary? What is the total summary? Your total payout is 1 crore rupee. 95 lakh rupee. Your total payout is 1 crore rupee. So 95 lakh rupee. Just a minute. This is your. So basically I have rounded off. Otherwise it would have been this much. Right. This is your summary of the extracts. PP is 94, 99, 895. Interest expense is 5 lakh and total payout is 1 crore. Friends, I hope you guys are able to understand this entire concept of Ind AS 16, whatever I have covered so far. Is that clear to you or clear to you? Clear in mind or clear from mind? Tell me. समझ आया या नहीं आया? समझ आया? Yes. This is the solution and the working notes which is given in the PPT also. Right. Now, should I discuss some multiple choice question to understand your knowledge? Yeah, to check your knowledge. Sir, can you cover any one previous year question also in the next class? Okay, I'll try to cover. Not to worry. Now let's discuss some MCQs. Okay, to check your knowledge. Friends, what I have covered since beginning, I have covered the meaning of the definition of the property, plant and equipment, tangible item, held for use in production or supply of goods and services, held for rental purposes, held for administrative purpose and expected to be used for more than 1 year. We discussed the definition very well. Then we discussed the recognition condition. Recognition condition was, future economic benefits should be probable and cost can be measured reliably, right? And we understood that the recognition condition is same for the initial recognition as well as subsequent cost recognition. And we understood that spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment will be capitalized as a PPE if it meet the recognition and definition of PPE. And we understood the major inspection, major overhaul and major replacement cost is required to be capitalized and added to the cost of the PPE, and the old component cost needs to be decapitalized. If in the beginning the component has a different useful life, then from the beginning, if you have the value and the different useful life, you have to apply the component accounting and depreciate the component which is going to be replaced in future in the lower life, right? You have to depreciate it separately. If you don't know the value of the component, for example, in case of accident, a major asset needs to be replaced, right? Major component needs to be replaced. And of course, on the day one, you don't know the value. So now you can arrive at a value using the current cost. Okay. By discounting the current cost back to the date of purchase, you can arrive at a value and you can allocate that value to that component, and the remaining will be allocated to the remaining of the asset. Okay. Then we did some question of the machine turbine, truck engine. Okay. Then airplane and inspection. I have shown you Indigo annual report. Then we discussed the measurement part, and we discussed that the measurement is at cost. Cost includes purchase price plus non-refundable taxes plus import duty minus trade discount and rebate plus directly attributable cost plus initial cost of initial estimate of dismantling and decommissioning cost. This is what we discussed. Then we did some questions about the cost also, and we understood and discussed in case of deferred payment credit. In case of deferred payment credit, if there is a deferred payment credit, then the PP has to be capitalized at a cash price equivalent when the consideration received or consideration paid, not received, when the amount paid is more than the cash price equivalent, the differential will be charged as an interest. Okay. Now the time has come to test your knowledge. Definition of PP. Which of the following best describe PP under Ind AS 16? बताइए. Asset held for sale in the ordinary course of the business. It is an inventory. Tangible item held for use in production or supply of goods and services. Rental to others. Administrative purposes. Expected to be used in more than one period. Intangible asset. Financial asset. B is the right answer. B is the right answer. Okay. What is the exception of the rental? What is the exception of the rental asset? What is the exception of the rental asset in PP standard? Exception क्या था? हमने कुछ exception पढ़ा था. Land and building. Land and building is the exception. Okay. If land and building held for rental purposes, it will be part of the investment property, not PP&E. An entity purchase a machine for 50 lakh rupee. Management expect that the machine will generate future economic benefit and its cost can be measured reliably. Under Ind AS 16, the machine should always be expensed off because machine is a capital expenditure only when the payment is made. Be recognized as PP because both the recognition criteria are satisfied. Be recognized only when commercial production commences. Be recognized only after obtaining an external valuation. What is the right answer? What is the right answer? The right answer is, again, it has to be recognized as PP because both the recognition criteria are satisfied. Future economic benefit is probable and cost can be measured reliably. Okay. Directly attributable cost. Which of the following would generally qualify as a directly attributable cost of bringing a newly acquired machine to the location and condition necessary for it to be operate as intended? General administration overhead, initial operating losses, cost of testing, advertisement expenses. Tell me, which will be classified as a directly attributable cost? Yeah. Yes, you are absolutely right. It is cost of testing. C is the right answer. It is cost of testing. Okay. Now, next question. Yes. Site preparation. Okay. So a company acquires land and construct a manufacturing plant. Before construction begins, 8 lakh is incurred for clearing and preparing the site. 8 lakh is incurred for clearing and preparing the site. How should the site preparation cost generally be treated? Charge to P&L, included in the cost of the PP if directly attributable, recognized as an intangible asset, recognized as an inventory. Yeah. Yes, it has to be included in the cost of the PP if directly attributable. Okay. Initially operating losses. So a newly installed production machine incurs operating losses of 12 lakh during the first 3 months because production has not yet reached to the normal capacity. How should these losses be treated? Capitalized as a part of the cost of the machine, capitalized until normal production capacity is achieved, recognized in profit or loss, deducted from the carrying amount of the machine. Tell me whether we will capitalize as a part of the machine, whether we will capitalize until the normal capacity achieved. Initial operating losses I have discussed. Yes, you are absolutely right. It has to be recognized in P&L. C is the right answer. It has to be recognized in the P&L. Explanation: startup cost, operating losses incurred before an asset achieves Plant performance and similar cost are not cost of PP&E. Right. Now, question number 6. Question number 6. An entity undertakes trial production while testing a newly constructed machine. Okay. During testing, goods costing 4 lakh are produced and sold for 5 lakh rupee. Costing 4 lakhs are produced and sold for 5 lakh rupee. What is the appropriate treatment under Ind AS 16? 5 lakh is deducted from the cost of PP&E. 4 lakh is deducted from cost of PP&E. Revenue of 5 lakh and related cost of 4 lakh are recognized in P&L. Entire 5 lakh is recognized as other income. Tell me what is the right answer. The cost of the goods sold was 4 lakh but sold at 5 lakh rupee. What is the right answer? The right answer is A. You are absolutely right. During the testing phase, right, whatever is earned from the sale of the goods produced out of testing, it has to be capitalized as it has to be reduced from the cost of the PPE. 5 lakh is deducted from the cost of the PPE, right? No. So Ravinder, that is not a profit because you are not charging into the cost of Ravinder. What is your trial run expenses? Ravinder, your trial run expenses. So basically you are putting raw material. Okay, you are running your machine. So whatever expense you have incurred, be it raw material also, WIP also, you are charging it as a cost of PP&E, right? So if you are earning something out of that, it has to be reduced from your cost of PP&E, right? Yes. Subsequent. Yeah, you are absolutely right, Rohan. It has to be 1 lakh has to be hitted in the cost of the PP. Hitted means netted. If sold at 3 lakhs, then of course, if sold at 3 lakhs, so that loss has already been consumed ना. वो 4 तो पूरा ही चला गया ना उसमें. So 4 चला गया, -3 कर देंगे. Are you getting me? So whatever you are receiving, you have to deduct it. As simple as that. As simple as that. Okay. You added 4 lakh to the trial run expenses, but you deducted 5 lakh because you have earned that. Subsequent expenditure. A company replaces a major component of a machine. The replacement component meets the recognition criteria under Ind AS 16. What should be done with the carrying amount of the replaced component? Continue depreciating both component, expense the new component immediately, capitalize the replacement component and de-recognize the carrying amount of the old replaced component. Capitalize the replacement component without de-recognizing the old component. ये तो सब आप इसमें आपने PhD कर ली. You all become expert in this. You are absolutely right. C is the right answer. Okay. You have to, whenever replacement expenditure meet the recognition criteria, the new component is capitalized and the carrying amount of the replaced component is de-recognized. Yes. Friends, so we discussed this part as well. We discussed a lot of concept today on Ind AS 16. In the next class, we will complete Ind AS 16. I hope you have enjoyed the session thoroughly. Right. I hope you have understood the session as well. Right. If you have any question, would be happy to answer. Otherwise, it's 10 a.m. now and happy to, wrap up the class. Can I wrap up the class? Can I conclude the class? Great.
So
Thank you so
I'll
much.
take, sir.
Oh,
I'll take
you are
2
there,
minutes
ma'am?
for students to just to interact with students, sir. So
Sure, ma'am.
students,
Sure.
hope I once again I am requesting those students who have not filled that stakeholder feedback form. This basically to review the course curriculum of ICAI. I request once again everybody to please fill that form because your voice is going to be heard. This is very important for you also because you are at final level. So what is the provision is being made that will be directly or indirectly being affected, you'll be affected by that. So please do fill that form, and along with that also fill the session feedback form because that helps the faculty to understand what are your expectations and where they need to further provide you any other services which you desire and deserve as well, na? So students, in case you have any other query, you just let us know. Those who all are there on the WhatsApp group. So Rohan, Swaminathan, they are there. Ravinder is there. Kanaya, are you there? Okay. Manish, I'm on mobile app recording lecture. ये ना 2-3 दिन से आ रही है. We are working on this. There is some technical glitch going on, Manish. We are working on that and hope it will be, this facility will resume shortly, na? Okay. This complaint of this recorded lecture not available that we have got from many people and we are working on that. Okay. Any other query or something, any other problem you are facing which you want us to resolve, just let us know. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session. Okay, one question Rohan has asked, can we have one more lecture for a question? So tell me, students, were all the questions not covered in Windows 115? You want questions practice for question practice? Any question which left out, then you let me know. Any question which already covered by sir in during his class, but still you are not able to understand, I request everybody to go to the recorded lectures. If not on the BOS mobile app, at least you can go through that YouTube video. So on WhatsApp group only admin allowed. Acha query cannot put on WhatsApp group. This also was noticed. We are working on that. Actually, students, we were facing some problem with students only. Students were creating some. That's why we have created a new WhatsApp group. Earlier, we were having a different WhatsApp group. We created one more WhatsApp group because some problems were going on between the students and they were trying to disturb the classes. That's why we did that, and soon we'll try to open it for everybody. I cannot assure you when, but we'll try to do that now. Okay. Only for more practice, but bit of new questions which have not been covered, for that only I can schedule the session. The questions which have already been taken by sir during his session, na, that you can watch through YouTube, at least not through ECPL or mobile app. You are not able to watch the recorded lectures. At least go through the YouTube playlist. ICAI CA is the channel where in playlist you'll find this LVC. Group 1 for May 27 examination. There you'll find a lecture for particular date and topic. From there you can just rewatch it. For more practice, Rohan, you are saying, I'll do one thing. Uh, do it on your own, because solutions are given in the study material. Where you are facing the problem, just let us know through bos@icai.in or bosnoida@icai.in. We'll forward that query to sir. In case the queries are numerous, it is something like that, we can conduct a session. We'll look into that. Okay. We'll try to do that, but only when we have sufficient number of queries. For one query or two query, we won't be able to schedule a class of 3 hours. But in case you are having good number of questions so that it can be covered in 3 hour session, we'll do that. Okay. Okay, what Charit Reddy is asking, ma'am, when the updated study material will be uploaded in the BOS? We'll start uploading it from the in the month of September, and by the end of September, hopefully, it will be available for the entire study material will be available on the website and will be released for printing also. However, when entire study material is uploaded on the website, after that it takes almost 3 weeks for printing and distribution as well. Okay, so meanwhile, let me just tell you, in your Indias in financial reporting, recently one amendment has been released in 109 that is not applicable for May 27. It will be applicable for your, sorry, that is applicable for May 27, not for November 26 examination. Okay, that we'll be covering in the study material. Further, besides that, all the amendments which are applicable for November 2026 examination, that is given in your RTP for November 26. Okay, so for those amendments only you need to refer the new study material and some new questions which were there in the previous RTP, new, because RTP always carries new questions. So questions which are there in the RTP, that we have included in the study material. So the new study material will carry will carry 3 amendments basically: May 2025, August 2025, and recent amendment which came in 109 in August 2026. That study material will carry. Besides that, there will be only questions which were there in the previous RTPs. So you can start your preparation with the study material which is already web hosted, or with the study material you are already having, that printed version. Whatever new amendments or new changes have been made in the new edition of this study material, before every module will be providing a table which is with the heading significant changes vis-a-vis the previous edition. From there you will be finding out whatever new additions have been made, that you can refer it when the new study material will be uploaded. Meanwhile, you can start your preparation with the web hosted study material or the study material which you are already having. To be very true, students, I would suggest, in case you are having the recent study material that is after August 2025, then no need to buy the new study material until and unless you are not having the old one. Okay, you are having the study material which is prior to that. Now, then only buy. Otherwise, you can refer only the changes. Unnecessary, not no need to go for any repetition of expenditure. Na? Okay. Any other query? Mm-hmm. See, I'm always there in case you find any these type of queries. I'm there to resolve. Just I want everyone to be open up. Just please talk to me freely wherever, whatever you are facing problem in financial reporting or in the institute BOS expectations or anything you want. Just let us know. And I would have also requested everybody, those who have not gone to the fortnight programs, please refer the fortnight programs because it is not going to be available in recorded form, even on YouTube as well. So just go through as and when it is available. Okay. Okay. Sai Kiran is asking for WhatsApp number. Sai Kiran, you are not there on WhatsApp? Just a minute. We'll share the link and please join to that WhatsApp link. You have to give us 2 minutes to give the link. Fortnight program PPT is available on site. Please, ma'am. No, Manish, what do you want? You can unmute and talk to me. What exactly do you want to say? You want me to make it available or it is already available? So Rohan is also asking, and Manish is asking, what do you want? You want the PPT which we have shared in that fortnight program for financial reporting? For audit, you are asking. Manish,
Yeah.
for audit, you are asking?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For audit, you are asking the
Update.
PPT. That is
So
available on the
actually,
website, or you want it?
no, no, ma'am.
Hmm?
Not available.
It is not a fortnight की बेटा किसी की पीपीटी नहीं अवेलेबल होगी आपको
Oh,
पीपीटी चाहिए ऑडिट की चाहिए आप मुझे
yes.
बताइए तो ऑडिट की फैकल्टी को आपको मेल करनी पड़ेगी
Update.
हाँ यू जस्ट नोट डाउन bosnoida@ici.in आप इस मेल आईडी पे प्लीज जस्ट पुट योर रिक्वेस्ट एंड they'll forward it to the concerned person please mention fortnight program for audit you are requesting to get the ppt है ना okay Rohan and this was Manish sorry. Okay, this was Manish. Rohan, Sai Kiran, we are sharing just a minute. Rohan, you want PPT of audit or financial reporting? Okay. WhatsApp link for group. Just a minute, Rohan, we'll be sharing it. Sai Kiran is also requesting for the WhatsApp link, and Rohan, you are also requesting. We'll be sharing it. हाँ लाइव एंड कर दीजिए संकेत जी लाइव एंड कर दीजिए